Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. We're an hour and 5 minutes away from kickoff as Brighton take on West Ham United this afternoon. The official lineups are just 5 minutes away. And I have to say the unofficial lineup for West Ham, if you like, it's very, very good. I'm really happy. So we'll get official confirmation, though. I never like to just put it up there in case it's wrong. Although it's never been wrong. You just never know. At some point, it's going to be. And it makes me a little bit nervous. I might look a little bit silly. So just myself today until Charlie joins me, which means I'm going to be interacting with the live chat a lot. You're going to create the content for me. So please keep your opinions coming in regards to West Ham. Mincy says, Danny Ings says he knows how to beat our losing streak against Brighton. Does that mean we're winning? Do you want? I had a little look. When I spoke to Joe, the Brighton fan, he said Danny Ings always scores against us. Now, I take that with a pinch of salt because everybody says it, don't they? Everybody says that about players. And when you have a prolific Premier League goal scorer in Danny Ings, everybody's going to feel, oh, he scores against us. So I had a little look. Danny Ings has got 5 and 14 against Brighton. Nothing fantastic, but he's got 4 in his last 5 against him. And he's played Brighton 14 times in his career and won 9 of them. He's only lost twice to Brighton. Welcome to West Ham, Danny Ings. This is where we make your own personal record a little bit worse. But in all seriousness, he's done all right against Brighton, hasn't he? We've got a goal scorer. Dan saying we need to win today to break this bloody curse. Let's just call it that. Chris says he's optimistic about today, which isn't a good sign. Do you know something? I am too. I'm looking forward to today's game. In the preview, I went for a draw. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a win. I'll explain why when the teams come out, but I'm feeling quite good, actually. Mark says a girl will be looking to make amends for Wednesday night, so expecting to have a blinder. Jason wants to see Scamacca and Ings starting. In all honesty, I'm not too bothered about Scamacca not starting, truth be told. It would be nice, but I quite like our formation the last 2 games. I like 4-3-3. It's sort of my favourite formation in football. We've never really played it. I know some people view how we're playing as a 4-2-3-1. It's not how I see it. I see it as a 4-3-3 with Souček and Paqueta, giving license to roam, if you like. And I think Paqueta has been really influential in the last 2 games. I think Souček has been really good. I think Rice has been brilliant in front of that back four. So I see it as a 4-3-3. I don't really want to change it up today. Big game for us. If we've done our homework on Brighton, there's weaknesses in this Brighton team. The way they commit, we'll have to see what their lineup is, of course. Lewis Dunk, I can't believe I'm way to say this, but it depends how we handle Lewis Dunk in possession. If we decide to press him or we decide to sit off and let him have the ball, we've got to get it right. If we do decide to go and get in his face, then we're going to have to be careful and make sure we're doing it correctly. Otherwise, they could really quickly use Lewis Dunk to exploit us, if you like. But yeah, it sounds mental. I'm saying we need to be careful for Lewis Dunk. But that's just how I see Brighton. That's just how I see the way that they play. Then he says we've got to beat Brighton one day, and today is a day. It's law of average stuff, this. But everybody, tell you what, everybody's got like a little good vibe going on. Apart from East Side Views, he thinks anyone that thinks we're going to win is delusional. But I'm pretty sure he said that about the Nottingham Forest game as well. So maybe we're all delusional. Spencer says we're going to win 2-1. Ings and Benrahma scoring. Danny says if we play like we did on Wednesday against Man United, we'll be all right. There's positivity in the live chat. This is quite concerning. I'm looking forward to this, actually, because the lineups will be out in about 30 seconds or so. And then Charlie will put a poll up in the live chat. I'm expecting some optimism. I'm expecting a good result when Charlie comes on to join me to read out the results. I'm expecting a high percentage of people looking forward to the game and looking forward to the team. Pagey Boy says, good feeling about this one. If we stay in the front foot, Brighton will do what they've done to us a lot lately. I've just seen people saying it's 2-0 Man City. I'm glad Haaland hasn't scored. I've gambled. Haaland's still in my fantasy league team, but he's not the captain. Given the captaincy to a Arsenal player. I would like to say it's Saka. I'm unsure if it's Saka or Martinelli. I think it's Saka. I've been deliberating which one to go for. But I've stripped Haaland of the captaincy. I don't like it. I don't like having him in fantasy league. Never has a player blanked so much, but I'm terrified to not have him in the team at the same time. So, yeah, I see people say it's Bernardo Silva that scores. That's good. Right, let's have a little look at the West Ham team. In goal this afternoon is Alphonse Areola with a back four of Ben Johnson on the right, Emerson on the left, and a Aguirre partnering Ogbonna in the middle. A midfield three, in my opinion, of Declan Rice, Thomas Soucek, and Lucas Paqueta, and a front three of Jared Bowen, Danny Ings, and Saeed Benrahma. Look at that team. Look at that team. Hey, I'm saying it. I'm saying it now. I love it. I absolutely love this team. I don't think I change anything. Let me just check. Sufal's not on the bench. Zuma, we'll do the bench in a minute. But obviously, the injury people are out. They're out kind of thing. But look at that starting 11. I think this is brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think, yeah, is it perfect? No, it's not. But from the players available, I think this is the strongest we can get. Danny Ings up front, Bowen to the right of him, Benrahma to the left. That midfield three, which have been performing really well lately. I'm a little bit iffy about the defence. So, I'll be honest with you, the defence makes me a little bit nervous. But that's because of Brighton. And I think there's a few weaknesses in our back four. But for the personnel available, I think that's as strong as you can get, really. I'm really, really happy. I'm really looking forward to Charlie coming on here with the results of the poll to say if you like it or not. I'm feeling good. I can see the positive comments in the live chat as well. Don't worry, I'll be chatting to you in just a minute. But that's the West Ham team. The poll is now live. It's in the live chat. Get involved. Click the option that reflects your opinion on the starting 11, the best. And while you're doing that, let me read out the bench for West Ham this afternoon. Anang is on the bench, as we know that Fabianski's out. Oh, we've got two goalkeepers. Heggy's on the bench as well as Flynn Downs, Alan Creswell, Pablo Finales. Kurt Zuma is on the bench, as is Lanzini and Scamacca. So no Michail Antonio. One can only assume Antonio is injured and he's out for this game. David Moyes did say in his press conference yesterday, a couple of players have picked up knocks. He's kept it tight-lipped. Antonio's obviously one. No Maxwell Cornet, but Cornet did play last night for the under-21s against Manchester City in his, let's call it his rehab. But this is slightly positive. You know, Zuma's back in the bench, which would mean that possibly for Thursday night he's available. If not Aston Villa next weekend, certainly Zuma would be expected to be available for the starting 11. Sufal still out injured, which is a bit of a blow, but it's I say it's a good bench. It's not though, is it? I think it's an okay bench. I think, you know, two goalkeepers is never great, but I'm looking at it now. Zuma, Creswell. So we've got no right back, no option for right back on the bench. Downs covers centre midfield for now. Lanzini, Scamacca. We've not really got a winger on there, but I don't really think we've got a winger anyway, apart from the two that's on the pitch. So it's an okay bench. This is a good one. James has said there's no game changers. I think that's good. Roger, you're right. Thilo Kehrer, I completely forgot about him in all honesty. Kehler's not on the bench. We're missing quite a few players today. But yes, James is right. No game changers on there. So Antonio's injured. Kehrer looks like he must be injured as well. Sufal, we knew, was carrying a knock. He's out. Cornet played last night. So, not great. I think the first 11 is really, really good, but the bench is looking a little bit light this afternoon. But don't worry. Manager wouldn't use them anyway. I'm joking. I just had to stick it in there. Right, shall we have a look at the Brighton team? Whoa, this is good news for West Ham. Hello. I say good news. It's surprising news. In goal is Steele. Sanchez is on the bench for Brighton this afternoon. They've got their back four. Yeah, they do. Back four of Tariq Lamptey, right back. They've also got Webster and Dunk in the middle with Estupiñán at left back. In midfield, they've gone Casiedo and Pascal Gross. Solly March right wing, Matoma left wing, McAllister in the number 10, and Evan Ferguson leads the line up front. So a bit of a possible surprise there, having Steele in goal rather than Sanchez. I watched their game against Stoke on Tuesday, and he was very good in possession. I know it sounds strange, justifying a keeper's inclusion because of how good he was with the ball at his feet, but he was really, really comfortable taking it from Dunk and played it passes into the centre midfield. And quite often he was doing, Ferguson would come just on the edge of the centre circle. He'd come to the nearest point to his goalkeeper, and he was putting the ball along the deck, 40 yards on the deck into Ferguson's feet and trying to launch attacks that way. So that's something to keep an eye on. But that's the Brighton team. I say expected. I did my prediction, got two wrong, thanks to Sanchez being on the bench. But I also thought maybe Veltman over Lamptey. I haven't been impressed by Lamptey. I'll be honest with you. 2 years ago, he looked like the next big thing, didn't he? Then he had that horrific injury. And since he's come back, I think he's got the right manager. but I'm not really been blown away by him just yet. I don't think he's quite reached the heights he once was a couple of seasons ago. Anyway, that's the Brighton starting 11. The bench for the Seagulls this afternoon in no particular order is Sanchez, as well as Welbeck, Sadamentino, Enciso, Undav, Gilmore, Van Heck, Veltman, and Bonatone. How do you say that? Bonanot. Let's just go with Bonanot, yeah? Bonanot. Sounds good. Anyway, that's the Brighton bench this afternoon. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump straight into the potential bet giveaway because I've already prepared half of it. So what I'm going to do, let me just skim this. Yeah, all good. All good. I'm going to do that. Right, it's only £150 cash. I say only. It's £150 cash if this wins. And I want to say I'm playing it safe. It's open to debate, but you can tell Gonzo's not here, right? So listen carefully, because there's 5 things, and they're all player related. But if these 5 things come in, one of you guys will win £150 cash, and I'll tell you how to enter in just a second. We have Lucas Paqueta to do 2 fouls. Ben Johnson to do 2 fouls up against Matoma. It's happening. Lewis Dunk to attempt 90 or more passes. It'll be fine. He's averaging like well over 100 at the minute. It's fine. It's a good bet, that one. McAllister and Jared Bowen both have a shot on target each. So let me run through it one more time really quickly. Bowen and McAllister to have a shot on target each. Dunk to do 90 or more passes. Ben Johnson and Paqueta to do 2 or more fouls. £150 cash to one of you guys watching live right now if that bet wins. To enter, all you have to do is give me your thoughts on the West Ham team, the Brighton team, or how you see the game going. Not your score predictions. Not really do a phrase that pays and spams chat, but because I'm on my own, I need you guys to give me some opinions for content. So do that. Get involved. Get involved. All you have to do is get involved. Give us your thoughts on the game or the teams, and that's you entered. And hopefully it wins. I'm feeling it. I'm telling you something. I am feeling it. Right, let's see what you're all saying. Marky Boy says, playing 4-3-3 like the fans have called for. Moyes will take the credit when we stay up. You can take all the credit if he wants. Doesn't bother me. As long as we stay up, that's the main thing. I think, in fairness, Marky, I think we played 4-3-3 against Man United and Nottingham Forest. Like I said, people will see it differently. They'll call it differently. But I saw it as a 4-3-3 with Paqueta and Thomas Souček. Essentially, both of them played as number 8s, really, trying to push on. And we don't really have a number 10, I don't think. But I quite like it. It's difficult to mark when we're playing like that. Ryan says it's an excellent lineup considering the injuries. That's the best possible lineup. It's hard to disagree. Jack says both solid team. Matoma will rinse us. I agree with all that. I think Matoma's an excellent player. Max says Emerson at left back, Ings up front actually gives us a chance. Mark says if we press, we have a chance. If we sit back, a fear for us. The one thing I will say in regards to the pressing, I think this is a very difficult thing to do, and I don't really know which I'd prefer to see us do. Naturally, you want to see your team push up high up the pitch and get involved and push the other team back as much as you can. But that's what Brighton want you to do. There's not many teams in the league that want you to press high against them. But Brighton are one of the few. They want you to go at them. They want Lucas Paqueta to run at Lewis Dunk today so they can sort of nick it around the corner, if you like, and get into the feet of Caicedo or Pascal Gross. And then they're turning and facing our midfield and Paqueta's out the game. So I think the pressing, our pressing game will be very interesting to see today. And I'm a little bit nervous by it because I'm not 100% sure what the right way to do it is. So if Moyes gets it right, I'll be very impressed, and I think it'll give us a really big chance. Because, like I said, there is weaknesses in this Brighton team. There's a lot of space behind their fullbacks, especially Lamptey and the Stupinian playing fullbacks for Brighton today. There'll be loads of spaces behind there when you can get possession off them. When you break down their attack, if you can get away quick, you've got chances out wide. Lewis is happy with the team. Good chance for us to push on for the rest of the season. More positive formation. Philip is optimistic. Juicy P thinks we're going to have 2 quite evenly matched teams today. Yeah, I can't disagree. Scott says it's a good selection. Should have a great chance. It's a great video. I'm assuming you mean this one, Scott. I hope you're meaning this one, but thank you very much. If so, Dan says best lineup we could have. Brighton always scare him, but we're going to win. Steve says right team, but will it be the right tactics? I think the last couple of games, Steve, I think we have played the right tactics. I think on Wednesday, I think Moyes got his tactics right. I think the substitutions let him down, and also I think the players on the pitch let him down as well. Antonio and Aguerd in particular. Antonio was the reason we didn't win the game, and Aguerd was the reason we lost the game. The substitutions, like I said, could have been better, should have been earlier, but with the benefit of hindsight, when Jared Bowen came on for Fornals, we got worse. Bowen allowed Garnacho to get into the game a lot. So even if he made the substitutions early, it doesn't mean Jared Bowen would have been any better. And I think it was the most obvious substitution, and it didn't work because of Jared Bowen. Clam said, I think having Antonio not even an option is brilliant. Oh, right, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the first few words, and I actually thought it was going to say not having Antonio is a bit of a blow. But anyway, Clam thinks he's by far the weakest link. Given this lineup, I'm feeling an early goal, Acosta 1-0. I think he'd have been a good option on the bench. I'd rather have had Antonio in the squad than not in the squad. I appreciate what you're saying. I don't think he would have started, by the way. If Antonio was fit today, I think he'd be on the bench and Ings would have started anyway. Michael says he's been wanting 4-3-3 with these players for as long as moi. It suits Bowen especially. Yes, I agree. Paul says, strong side, just hope we go for it. Mark says, I can see us winning this. If we take the chances, we're bound to create. Chris says he's looking for a big performance from Souček. He's long overdue a goal. James says Johnson will have Matoma in his back pocket. Big call, James. I'm not convinced. I think it's going to be a nervy battle watching them two for me. Jones says West Ham are going to win. Paqueta, penalty, Danny Ings to score 2-0. Boom, gonna happen. Harry, I'm not going to do a phrase that pays. I just want, it would have been good. Slam dunk would have been good. Cornet likes it as well, but it's just, I need the live chat, unfortunately. Ole Ayer says Brighton are using the second choice keeper. His crap wasn't good enough for Sunderland. I've seen a lot of Brighton fans before today, before the game on Tuesday. A lot of Brighton fans, were a little bit wary of Steele starting the FA Cup game. So I'm surprised he's gone with him. He made a couple of half-decent saves against Stoke, but that was it. It wasn't much. He wasn't really tested or anything. So, strange one. Jim says, hopeful we can get a win on the break like it was 3 years ago and not against Brighton. Hammer 1999 says an expected lineup, not keen on Ogbonna. We'd rather have Zuma and Aguerd. Expect Souček to struggle today, but he deserves a start. I agree where I know what he's saying. A lot of people are going to say, hang on, Ogbonna was brilliant against Man United. He was, but doesn't mean he's going to be brilliant in every game. I get his reservations about the centre-back. I've got the same ones as well. Actually, Damien, too, says Aguerd is struggling playing on the wrong side. Zuma's fit to have him in for Ogbonna, but happy with the team. I have to agree with them. The centre-back partnership does make me a little bit worried because, well, we've seen them get opened up before as well, and I just think Brighton are quite quick and they're passing very, very carefully. They like that passing between your fullback and your centre-back as well. So Bonner, the whole back four are going to have to be switched on for that one. John says, get Souček to bully their goalkeeper. He's going to be nervous. Daza says the team picks itself after the Nottingham Forest game. Rice has to sit, and Aguerd will need to have a good game, but think we can cause some problems. Mark thinks it's going to be entertaining. Reid says he's feeling positive, likes the team. Time for a surprise win and see off this Brighton jinx. Dan's asking who saw the under-21s. We're denied a penalty. City went up the other end and scored. I think we're 2-0 down at that point. It made it 3-0, but yes. I've only seen the highlights. Mark, we don't know where Antonio is. Lots of people ask where Antonio is. He's not at the bench. We just assume he's injured. Marky feels for Skamaka. Good player. Hope he stays. This squad will get top 7 under a decent manager. Mystic says, solid team. Good formation. Hopefully we finally get the Brighton hoodoo off our back. It's got to end some point, hasn't it? Even if it's just pure law of averages and no logic, it's got to end at some point. So, right, let me just skim through a little bit. Roger said, at least Moyes has woken up, kept Emerson in as opposed to Creswell. Midfield looks good, but not convinced the front three will work away from Holmes. Ings will be too isolated. I'm happy with the front three. ELT says, reasonably happy. Would have preferred a 4-4-2, which was the formation when Villa beat them. Ultra saying, why doesn't he play Skamaka and Ings in the front two? Always baffles me why he hasn't tried it yet. Alan said Aguerd has had one bad game, apparently struggling. I think that's a bit unfair, actually, Alan, and it's not necessarily I don't mean to dig you out, but I'm aware I'm speaking on behalf of another couple of people, but I think it's because I've got the same opinion as those people. I feel comfortable doing it. We're not saying Aguerd is struggling. We're not saying Ogbonna is struggling. As a pair, they did very well against Nottingham Forest. Obviously Aguerd struggled against Man United, but against Tottenham, they weren't good. The partnership was not good against Tottenham either, and I think they at times have looked a little bit uncomfortable. I think Aguerd does look uncomfortable playing on the right hand side. His distribution is impacted by him playing on the right hand side compared to the left. I understand why Moyes has played these two, by the way. I get it. We know what Zuma's like, but I get why people are a little bit concerned. And I understand. Has Aguerd only had one bad game? Yes, he has. But when we say struggling, it doesn't mean he looks crap. We're saying as a partnership, it's not always looking comfortable. It doesn't always result in goals or anything. But there's been at times, I think, not so much Forest, but they were pretty woeful. But Spurs especially, they were just getting ripped apart, them two, in my opinion. I think a couple of other opinions as well. No, I haven't said where Gonzo is. I don't make stuff up. I'm not creative enough to say where Gonzo is. Someone said he's at the nudist beach. Everybody's saying Gonzo's at the nudist beach in Brighton, so we'll just go with that. Gonzo's at the nudist beach in Brighton. Hammer 1999 says, big game for Ben Rama. Needs to show his quality consistently with Cornet coming back. Lamptey is a tricky customer and one Ben Rama will need to deal with. I agree with that. I think it works both ways, though. I think defensively, you can be a bit suspect, Tariq, so there's an opportunity there for Ben Rama to get at him, but I agree with what you're saying. Defensively, it needs to be a little bit more switched on. Dan said we need to be better and better at defending set pieces. Gary said O'Brien has been a great servant, does the safe option, solid, doesn't deserve to. I don't think anyone's criticising him. I don't think anybody's saying he's poor, though. I've literally, honestly, Gary, if I'm wrong, show me where or tell me where. I've not seen anybody criticise O'Brien and say he's poor. It's having reservations over a partnership if they work together and Aguerd being on one side doesn't mean Aguerd's poor or Ogbonna's poor. It just means you have reservations over that centre-back partnership. That's just it. It's like when people are concerned about Ings possibly being isolated. It doesn't mean Ings is a bad striker or Bowen's a bad winger. It just means they've got concerns that Danny Ings is going to be isolated. I'm finding it quite frustrating that you can use the manager's tactics to be concerned about the attackers, but defensively you can't. The tactics still impact the defense as well, or the team selection, the way that Aguerd has to play. That's how I see it anyway. I don't think anyone's criticising Ogbonna. I think he was brilliant against Man United. He had a poor game against Spurs, but he was the first one to hold his hands up. Ogbonna was after Nottingham Forest. I was at fault for the 2 goals last week, kind of thing. But anyway. Miroslav says our squad's much better than the results in the past. If we unleash the potential like last week, we are going to win. Dean says Gonzo is fighting off the seagulls with his chips. He's not a rookie. Gonzo's not a rookie. No chips in Brighton for him. Kevin says Antonio's probably sulking. Cornet was crap last night. Oh, looked like he was at the bus stop waiting for the bus to the airport back to France. I'll be honest with you, I didn't tune into the game. So I've seen mixed reports about Cornet. That's all I will say. I've seen some good reports about, I can't remember the lad's name now. Lewis Horford was getting a lot of plaudits, and there was another youngster as well. Not Mubama. There was another youngster getting some nice credits, but I can't remember his name now. Apologies, but certainly Horford was one of them. Hammer 1999 says Ogbonna's solid and has been. Zuma and Aguerd are better, and other partnership we've been saying will help us. I'd rather Aguerd in left centre back than Noggy. You can't criticise Ogbonna. I'm joking. Rory likes the team. He's excited for this one. Somebody say Marky Boy's got a brain. I don't know what Marky Boy said, though. I've missed what Marky Boy said. Here we go. Can't understand people digging out Ben Rama. Maybe if he had a decent run in the team, he tried a decent player. He can be greedy and wasteful, but dipping in and out of the team doesn't help. I preferred it when everybody was positive about the team rather than getting annoyed at everyone else's opinions. Nigel says he's worried by performance recently of Ben Johnson. I'll tell you what, I've never seen a player split an opinion like Ben Johnson did on Wednesday. I've seen some people say he was like man of match contender, and I've seen some people say he was absolutely dreadful on Wednesday against Man United. When we're talking about Souček, I think most people say he had a good game. Pardon me. When we were talking about Aguerd, most people say he had a terrible game. But with Johnson, it was either really good or really crap and no in between. I thought it was quite a strange one. Ben Johnson definitely split opinions on Wednesday night. James says Ben Rama's had a decent run. He's just inconsistent. Hopefully he plays well. Lewis says if we win, I'll be convinced we're staying up. After the last 2 games, I feel much better, but don't want to get carried away. In all honesty, I'm a little bit like that. Bar the convinced we're staying up part, I think it's just as easy to sort of undo all your good work. If we were to win today, then go get beat heavily by Aston Villa next week, it's a bit, here we go again. But it would certainly be a big step in the right direction. I think it's a good test for us today because forget the boogie team thing, forget our past history with Brighton. I don't like stuff like that, so I'm being a bit biased. I don't like personal records against previous teams because there's so many things that, that goes back to when flipping Chris Hughton was manager. You can't use that today. You can't say, we're going to lose today because Chris Hughton was really good against us. Hang on a minute. You can't. The managers change from both teams. Players change and whatever. Flipping Glenn Murray used to be the guy we were concerned, right? He's retired. He's stopped playing football. So I don't like the previous. I get it. It's a talking point. It's a statistic. But I do feel it's a little bit irrelevant. But on paper, Brighton have been a little bit wobbly the last couple of games. They've drawn a couple of games, haven't quite been at it. They've got a strong team out today, though. March is back, Estupinan's back, taking a gamble on the goalkeeper. We've started improving a little bit. Individually, I think a lot of our players are in form going into this one. So I think this is as good a chance as any to pick up 3 points here. I think a draw would be a good result, but it's not to say that a win is out of the equation. But it all depends, as Stephen said, it all depends on attitude. The team on paper looks really good. The tactics, the formation, good. I say the tactics, what I mean. Now it's the attitude, the intent. Do we want to win or are we turning up for a draw kind of thing? And that's it. This is where it's sort of what is the ideology behind West Ham today? Is it to win or to avoid defeat? And hopefully it's to go get 3 points because I think there's an opportunity there for us. We'll have to be on it. Certain players are going to have big games today, but they're there to be got at. I'm looking forward to this one. I think this will be a really good game for us. I think it's a good test. And I think it's a good test for Brighton as well. Cornet says Johnson was solid defensively, fish out of water. And that is Ben Johnson, though, isn't it? I just think... Guy says every team is a boogie team. Brighton's ours. Get excited about getting a win, hopefully. Lewis thought Johnson was brilliant for 70 minutes, but then Garnacho running ragged. When Fornals had gone off, I think that's what the biggest issue was. Fornals went off, Bowen pushed forward 10 yards, and it gave Garnacho that room. Garnacho was able to drop back 5-10 yards, pick the ball up, and get running at Ben Johnson, whereas previously Johnson was right behind him. He was touch tight to him for large parts of that game when Fornals was on because Fornals was dropping back and protecting Ben Johnson. But when we changed it, went a little bit more attacking, that's when Garnacho started to play, in my opinion anyway. And just because I've said that doesn't mean I think Obon is a bad player. I'm joking. Risky joke. Alan says it's a big game for Areola. Need to cement his place. We will see if our criticism of Moyes sticking with Fabianski was justified. To be fair, I don't think he had a great game on Wednesday night. What I will say is him and Aguerd need to sort out that communication. There was at least 3 instances in the second half. Them two were arguing with each other. One of them for their own goal as well. Dean's asking about Ferguson. I can only give you my opinion. Someone will probably give me a row for praising him too much, but I think he's a really good player. I think he's quite a physical striker. I think doesn't mind dropping back, allowing players to get in ahead of him. And I think like Firmino was like the perfect striker for Liverpool with Mane and Salah. I think Ferguson's got a touch of that about him, actually. I think he's just perfect for Mitoma and Solly March, but also for, let's say, McAllister. I prefer McAllister deeper in midfield, but he's playing in the number 10 role today. Well, I suppose Pascal Gross could always go number 10, but recently McAllister's been playing in the number 10 role. I expect him to do the same. And he's a good striker. His movement's good, really young lad, so he's still quite raw. But there's no doubt about it. He will go on to be a good Premier League striker. like I said, the physical aspect's good. Scored on Tuesday night. A striker's goal, and I think that's a compliment. It was the pass from Lewis Dunk to Mitoma was unbelievable, just right between fullback, centre back, took everyone out of the game. Mitoma was in, played across the 18-yarder, and there was Ferguson to knock into the back of the net. And I think they've done really well. You know, he scored loads of goals for their under 23s, as it were, back then. Got his chance in the first team, and he's taken it. And as I always say, he's just going to save Brighton 30 million in the summer because they don't need to go buy first team striker. They've got one. He was in the academy. They've got one now. So I expect him to give Ogbonna and Agard a little bit of a battle, but nothing that I don't think they can handle. They're not coming up against Harry Kane or a pacey striker or anything like that. So it should actually suit our centre backs. Famous last words. Michael says we need to be clinical, not just Ings in front of goal, but also Bowen, Benrahma, and with the passing with Soccer or Souček with the passing and crossing. Nolan wants to see Paqueta linking with Benrahma. Leo's asking why Steele is in goal ahead of Sanchez. Honestly, I do not know. I don't know. Alan says Paqueta and McAllister should be tasty with the Argentina and Brazil links. I think they'll be away from each other for large parts of it. Rice is going to have to get a grip of McAllister. But at the same token, Souček and we know Souček well, but Paqueta as well. They need to be disciplined in there up against Caicedo and Gross. They'll take the ball off the centre backs all day long. We need to be on it, which otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Josh said, if we're still in the game after 60 minutes, I'd like to see Moyes get Scamacca on to test Brighton's keeper from range. Pointless given Italy's number 9 5 minutes. Dean says Scamacca is going to score the winner. You heard it here first. Garino says Sanchez was dropped due to poor form. Fair enough. Not convinced of bringing in the best goalkeeper in the world, but like I said, distribution-wise on Tuesday, he was really, really good. Chippy says Brighton like keeping possession. Moyes likes conceding it. Not a good combination. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised today. Brighton have 70% possession. If it really surprised me. That's why I've got Lewis Dunk to do 90 passes or more in the bet. I'm confident it sails in that. As long as he doesn't get injured, obviously, Dunk. I'm confident that 90 passes sails in. I was mentioning at the start, I'll do it again. He's played Brighton 14 times. He's won 9 of those games. He's only lost twice against Brighton. He's scored 5 goals in those 14 games, so nothing spectacular. Just under 1 in 3, which is quite good, I suppose. But 4 goals in his last 5 games against Brighton. Danny Ings loves it against the Seagulls. Hopefully, we don't lose that. Alan, I've done the bet. I'll go through it one more time, and you've entered. Anybody that comments in the live chat today about the team, about the game, they've entered into the live chat. There's no phrase. So anybody looking for the phrase, don't worry. There isn't one because I need people to get involved in the live chat. The bet off the top of my head, Ben Johnson and Lucas Paqueta both commit 2 fouls. Lewis Dunk to 90 or more passes, and Jared Bowen and Alexis McAllister to have a shot on target. And it's £150 cash tonight to one of you people. Steve saying, great analysis, Gio. Thank you, Steve. Hit the like button, everybody. Yes, that would be fantastic. If you could click that thumbs up, it's just, I think it's that side of the screen. If you click down there, click the thumbs up, it really helps the video out. And if you subscribe, if you're new to Hammer's Chat, if you're not new, if you haven't already done so, it takes you 1 second. It's completely free, but clicking the thumbs up really helps the channel out more than you can imagine. Because if somebody goes onto YouTube and types in Brighton West Ham, this video will increase higher and higher up their search results, and hopefully it will be the #1 recommended video, and people pop along, discover the channel, helps us. Leo says no phrase because of Gonzo. To be fair, somebody said slam dunk, and it was quite a good one, but it just spams the chat. Alex says loving the positivity about the lineup. Brighton know nothing about one player always scoring against them. In that case, Wilson, Lukaku, Wood, Kane, Theo Walcott. Walcott loved it against us, didn't he? Seems like everybody. Glenn Murray. How did you forget Glenn Murray? I know he's retired now, but you're picking Lukaku, who's practically retired. Anyway, Food Geek Gaming, yes, happy afternoon. Yes, I'm doing good. I'm excited for the game. I'm actually really looking forward to it. Michael said any win will be great. Give the team much needed confidence. Sharky said, according to Athletic, decent source. Antonio's got a knock. Gav, it's on the screen. The starting 11 is on the screen. There's a Brighton one just there. The West Ham one will be on in a second. So if you can watch it, please do. Mr. Walsh is away to join me. Let me get my audio piece in. I don't know what's the real fancy technical term. What do they use in the shows and stuff?
Earpiece.
That's it. I'll get my earpiece in.
Get my earpiece in.
My headphones.
Talk to the gallery.
Yeah, not my headphones. I've cut a bit off, so I only ever use them, so I don't need to. So I've cut the other one off. You can't go around in it. It adds weight, right? It doesn't quite pull my head down. It adds a little bit of weight, so it's more inclined to pull out my. If I touch it, it doesn't come out. But if the other bit was on, I did that. It would. So I had to tuck it in my t-shirt. Then the audio comes out that headphone, so you can pick up in the microphone. So I was thinking of the viewer.
So you just you snipped. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you use it for literally nothing else, then that's fair enough.
Went for the snip.
Bold way of wording it. Yes. A bold way of wording it. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, if you never use it for anything else, that's fair. Seemed like crazy talk, but you've convinced me.
Anyway, Charlie, before I promote Patreon in a minute, can you give me the results from the poll? I'm genuinely really looking forward to this because the live chat is positive.
I can. So, the poll asking how you feel about the starting 11. Gio, 1% of people are fuming. 2%.
That's Brighton fans. They're fuming with our team.
Maybe. 2% of people, they say it's poor. 41% of people say it's all right. And 55% of people say very happy. That is a massive majority.
Landslide victory for David Moyes.
For positivity-wise, that is an absolute landslide. For good. It's huge as well. Can
we beam this stream into West Ham's change room right now? Just to say, Moisey, the fans are loving it. 55% of people are loving your team today.
55% of people are very happy. There you go.
That's brilliant. That's quite funny.
He probably would have done the same thing, to be fair.
Carl says, just want to see the team fight for the badge. Fancy a really good game from Paqueta. He seems to be finding his feet. Now, before we get your score predictions, actually get your score predictions in. Charlie, can you click on the score predictions as they come in? So get your score predictions in now. Please make it obvious who you're going for. If you put 2-1, we don't know if you mean Brighton because they're the home team or West Ham because you're a West Ham fan. So please, when you put it in, make it obvious who you are going for. I'm expecting some good results. A lot of West Ham victories being predicted here. It's constant. It's just pure draws at the minute, but I'm sure the wins will start creeping through. The so-called experts are loving this. You're correct, Lewis. Now, I just want to point in the direction of our Patreon at patreon.com/HammersChat. If you want more Hammers Chat videos, you might do. If you just want to support the channel from less than £1 per week, which would be appreciated, it's because of Patreon we can do this every single day. If it wasn't for Patreon, you'd maybe get 3 videos a week per channel. Instead, you get 7 videos per week per channel, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we miss a day, but it's very rarely. We do our best to do 1 video a day on YouTube per channel for free. You've got to put up a lot of adverts at the minute, admittedly, because there's no sponsors. Apologies, but we don't want to promote anything. But if it wasn't for Patreon, you wouldn't even get any of that. So you can head over there, patreon.com/HammersChat, get more videos, more benefits such as online store discount, entry to all our giveaways as well. Player ratings, Anton Ferdinand podcast, Patreon podcast, Hammerlytics, my opposition prediction, mug of tea. We've got 2, maybe 3 Q&As coming up this month. We've definitely got Jack Collison and Brian Dean, and we've possibly got a bit more of a West Ham legend, but that one hasn't been announced just yet. We're agreeing the T's and C's. We're agreeing his fee, basically. We're just sorting out a fee.
I don't even know who it is.
No, you don't know who it is. I don't like to tell anyone, just in case it falls through and I look silly. So
fair enough.
I don't want to say who it is, but
can I guess?
You've all heard it.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you can. You've got one guess.
I'm trying to read your eyes, see if I can get it. Is it? You class him as a legend, yeah? You class him as like
I don't think much people would, but he's a very popular man. Let's put it that way.
Okay. See, I was going to say Marlon Harewood, but then I remembered that you absolutely
it's not
decimated him at
him.
one time down the boat, so I didn't think it'd be him.
Yeah, I ruined that one.
I don't know then. I don't know. Screw it. It's Mauro Zarate. You've heard it here first. It's Mauro Zarate. He's come back.
It's definitely. I can assure you, it's definitely not Martin Noble. There's no way Martin Noble will come on here. He couldn't because he works for the club now. His hands are tied. So even if he wasn't, I don't think he'd want to come on here. But anyway, we've had Mark. We've already had Tony Cotti on. Tony Cotti's already been on and done his thing with us. So we don't do it. And Charlie might be able to do the subscribers thing. I can't. It's not going to be Anton Fernand. Anton Fernand comes on every week anyway. We do stuff with Anton Fernand anyway. It's not Anton. Everyone's guessing now. Nobody's guessed it, so maybe he's not that popular.
Or maybe you've thrown him off. This is the eyes. Maybe they're all reading your eyes and getting Mauro Zarate from that as well. Is it George McCartney? Anyway,
Charlie, I'm feeling good tonight. Do you know something? I'm going to say Brighton 1, West Ham 2. I think we're going to win today. I think... Do you want to know what's mad? Danny Ings' first goal, 9-1. 9-1. Oh, come on. He's a clinical Premier League striker. Regardless of who he plays for, 9-1 is a mental price. Do you want... I've done my first goal scorer treble today. Do you want to know how much... Who I've done? I've done Martinelli for Arsenal, Watkins of Villa, and Ings of West Ham. All score first in the game. £5 on. Guess how much you get back?
It's got to be a fair amount if you're telling me. If you're telling me it's not going to be a boring
amount. No,
it's
a good amount. You know, it's a good amount. It's a hard thing to do as well.
I've got no idea. I'm going to say, how much you put on 5? You put on £5? Is that what you said? You'll get back £60. No, it's probably way more than that.
Charlie, if you put a £5 on Ings to score first, you get back £50.
Yeah, I know. I literally just did the maths in my head.
Anyway, it's 1.5k.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So
what are the names again?
Martinelli of Arsenal, Watkins of Villa, and obviously our Danny Ings all scored the first goal in the game. So it's not for the team in the game to make it 1-0. 1.5k. It's not Matt Jarvis. We've done Matt Jarvis. It's on this channel actually. If you go into Hammer's chat, just type in Matt Jarvis is there. We've done Harry Redknapp. He's been on Patreon before. When it comes to fee, it might be Jeff Hurst. You'd be surprised at how many do want a fee and how many people don't want a fee. It's a bit of a hard one. I'm never going to say who charges and who doesn't because it's just not right. I don't think it's fair. But there's been 1 or 2 we've contacted in the past to come on. And let's just say the fee requested is a bit wild. It's a bit... Oh...
It is. I respect it. I'd probably be the same. Just screw it. You can pay this and I'll come on. Otherwise, I can't be asked. I respect it to some extent, to be fair.
There was another player. They said, make me an offer. And I sent them what I thought was quite a reasonable offer. And then they didn't even reply. I didn't even get a no. Just like, not even worth my time replying. Fair enough. You know what I mean? Do my best. I was polite, but I like messaging back a few days later, just telling them to do one. Then, if that's what you're going to be like, yeah, I don't mind people pricing it out. I'm not going to expose people of that, but to just not reply, I just thought was a bit rude. But
I'd probably yeah. But then again,
Gary, we've done Dean Ashton. Just sorry, but we've done Dean Ashton as well. He's on the channel. Just type in Hammer's Chat Dean Ashton, and you'll get in. One of my favorite interviews, actually. I was like sweating buckets before I'd done that one because he was like a hero of mine when I was like a boy. I loved Dean Ashton, so it was like to speak to somebody that I idolized was like whoa, big deal.
Helps that he's a nice guy as well. You know,
what was it, Charlie? Was it $7,000?
Yeah. It was around that. If it wasn't that,
£7,000 it's for 45 minutes to an hour is what we asked for, and he came back and asked for $7,000. So,
which considering like you say, some don't ask for a fee at all, and then some ask for a fee, but it's like. Yeah, that's totally fair. And some ask for a fee and it's basically minuscule.
And Harry Redknapp put his to charity. He put his to the guide dog charity. Harry Redknapp put the fee to the charity as well. So that was really, really nice of him as well. So, yeah, we had Declan Rice. I know what you're going to suggest here, but he wasn't meant to come on. I think we got a row for Declan Rice coming on, and I think Declan Rice got a row for Declan Rice coming on as well. I think he got told not to do that again.
Yeah.
So anyway, right. Listen, I've got to go because I've got to go watch the game, Charlie. But listen, thank you very much for joining me, and don't go anywhere at home because Charlie's with you right through to the full-time whistle, and I'll be back on at half-time break to let Charlie go for a slash and have a catch-up with him and discuss the first 45. I'll see you at the half-time.
See you later, Gio. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all good. I'll give you a clue. It's Mauro Zarate. It's definitely Zarate. I could see it in his eyes. I'm telling you now. Gio just clicking things in the background. It's Gio's just running wild. That's not me. As you can see, not me. That was Gio's all clicking that. I'm telling you, it's no, not totally. It's Mauro Zarate. Right, everyone, how are we all? Let's go. Let's start going, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible, how confident are you of a West Ham win? I hope you're all well. It is, of course, a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, but it doesn't feel it for me for some reason. But it is a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, which means you are unable to see it in the UK properly because, you know, rules or some nonsense that don't really make sense. But don't worry, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, if if you are in the UK or elsewhere, there are definitely ways you can do it. If you scroll down into the link in the description below, there's a link there called Join Our Discord. If you click on that, there's a lovely West Ham Hammers chat community waiting for you. Fans of all clubs welcome, lovely people to talk to. But more importantly, on the left hand side, there is a bit there called stream links, and you'll find what you're looking for. If you ever do use that, shout out Afa, shout out Ben, shout out Tom, shout out Jin. Just shout out the people who put in the hard work to make that happen. Because it ain't me. They're the ones who do it. And while we do that, let's have a look at the teams, shall we, in a little bit more depth. And I can't say I'm not a little bit surprised he stuck with it. I was thinking he was going to drop it. I was 100%, not 100% certain, but I wouldn't have been surprised, let's say, if he had dropped the 4-3-3. But he seems to have stuck with it today, has David Moyes. We've got Areola in goal, Ben Johnson, Agard, Ogbonna, Emerson in defence. Emerson is back. Rice, Souček and Paqueta in midfield with Bowen, Benrahma and Danny Ings up front. Danny Ings has returned. The subs bench, very goalkeeper youth heavy, is Adang Hedgie. We've then also got Downs, Cresswell, Fornals, Zuma, Lanzini and Scamacca. Which, you know, some good players on there, a bit weak. 2 youth goalkeepers which have 0 chance of coming on is a bit wild, but then again, Fabianski is injured. But still, that is wild. Outside of that, the bench is slightly weak. However, the team is about as strong as you'd expect. And actually, if we had every single player fit, you could make an argument that this would be our strongest starting 11. You would obviously move out probably Ogbonna for Zuma, and then you could make arguments about Fornals, you could make arguments about Scamacca potentially. But outside of that, you're saying this is probably the strongest starting 11 possible if we had everyone fit. So the fact that it's, you know, we've got quite a few injuries as the bench is showing. Antonio's out. Kera is non-existent for some reason. I assume he's out. Fabianski being out, that sort of stuff. Considering that, that's a bloody strong team. That's a bloody strong team in a 4-3-3. And you can see that from the confidence results. I mean, we went through the how do you feel earlier, but you're seeing 9, 7, 6, 2, 5, sorry, 2. There we go. Peter, I really struggled to click on your thing now. I don't know why. 5, 8, 6, 5, 7, 2. It's Carlton Cole. I wish. What a man. He works for the club, though, so there's a chance of him appearing on a very stem. 7, 4, 4, 7. 8, 6. He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man. The amount of times people come in and go, why is he there? And it's like, I don't have an answer for you. 7, 7, 6, 6, 3.14. Shout out to Pi. -1, says Deckers. No confidence from Reece. But you can see there are quite a few higher results. There are quite a few higher. For example, Alex here, if anyone else but 3 with Brighton, is the sort of vibe, right? Because obviously, good to see you, Jen. Hope you're well. Because obviously, when you're talking about Brighton and Hove Albion and our big, what's the word I'm looking for? they talk about bogey teams, I guess, and I'm similar to Gio. I like talking about it as a bogey team because I think it's quite fun, but it's not exactly something I'm particularly put any stock into. However, I genuinely don't know who it is, but I could tell you in the background he was clicking it, and I can see him when he's off camera, and he was clicking it and just laughing to himself. So maybe. It's one of those things. Melrose Rosati S69. Love that from you, Dan. Because this team, I mean, it's strong. It's relatively strong. You've got Steele in goal, which is just a little bit wild. A back four of Lamptey, Webster, Dunk, and March with Gross. Oh, probably Estupan. Estupinian, sorry, my bad. With Gross, McAllister, Caicedo probably in midfield, Mitoma, you've got Ferguson. Look, it's a relatively strong team, but obviously a very good Brighton side who are doing their thing. Their subs bench. Sanchez not even injured, he's just dropped to the bench. Welbeck, Sarmiento, Enciso, Undev, Gilmore, Van Heck, Veltman, and Buonanot. That's what I'm going with. So you can understand how there is confidence, and you can also understand how there's maybe some trepidation given the fact that, you know, it's Brighton. It's just the way these things go for us in Brighton, isn't it? So you can understand why there's confidence. You can understand why there's some trepidation. For example, Callum G saying an 8, where Asuma straight after him is saying a 2. Do you know what I mean? There is certainly levels to this game, and you can understand it. This one, I wish, Chris. I would adore that. What a legend. What a guy. Still playing in Australia, I believe. P. Gads, for example, is saying Matoma scares me, and Purvis Estupinian sounds like a Peruvian actor. I was thinking about Peru, just the country, the other day. I don't remember why. Is that where what's his name was from? Was Nobby Solano Peru? Was he Peruvian? He was from somewhere in South America, wasn't he? I can't remember where. But I was just thinking about the country of Peru. I used to see them when I'd play old Pezzes, and I'd see their flag and I'd go, that's Peru. You know? I don't know. Why he's still playing? I don't. I literally, but I'm sorry, Manic. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Gio was talking about him playing well and being able to play from back and all this other sort of stuff. Maybe that's why. I've got no idea. No. English for all. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Firma is going Buena Not, like good night. Is that Buena Not? Oh yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? I guess it is. Not that I'm smart, but I guess it is. Richard, good to see you. Dean, good to see you. Hope you're well. Win this game and we're 100% safe, says Stevie B. I probably wouldn't go that far, but it's certainly starting to feel like we've got a little bit of yeah, he was Peruvian. There you go. Paddington Bear was from Peru. Was he? I thought he was from Paddington Station. It's a little statue of him there and everything. False advertising. Haven't seen the films though, to be fair. I will say, by the way, very quick side note for clips and clips only, and I apologize. I can't remember if it was on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, right? And I was scrolling through, it was one of the two, and I was scrolling through, and there's an advert for some sort of like holiday thing for families with like snowboarding. And I'm certain, and it comes up every single time I see it, I'm certain it's Dante who's the dad of the family. It might not be, and I can't bloody pause it and like go back and look, and I've never been asked to like try and find the advert otherwise, but I'm certain it's there. James Gunn is very confidently saying the curse will be broken. James from E20, subscribe if you haven't already. My man puts in a shift, and he also has people on like Lucas on there, and if you're missing Young Tom, he does stuff on there as well, so E20 Zone TV, check it out. Much love, hope you're well, and listen, 433 James, it's happening. I always felt I was on E20 the other day, and I felt like I personally had an inkling. I felt like we would have stuck with the 4-3-3. I should say that. I think it was too easy for David Moyes to do that, right? I felt if he had changed back to the 5 at the back and then we lost, it would have been such an easy stick to beat him with. I feel like if you had changed to that and then we hadn't scored and we'd lost, people would be angry. They'd say, why would you change formation? It was going well, all of this other sort of stuff. So I felt like even David Moyes would probably have stuck with the 4-3-3. I will say, and I said this on E20 Zone, and I'll say it here as well, I would have been tempted to change back to a 3/5 at the back, because I feel like Brighton are going to have so much possession and they're going to be so all over us, and are a team who want you to sort of be on the front foot against them, that it almost is. It almost is. It almost plays into their hands playing the 4-3-3. I think it's almost smarter to go to the 3/5 at the back, where you sort of nullify a little bit of what they're doing. We give everyone possession, so you can just have the ball. That's fine. It's about can you make it work? Can you get the crosses and stuff like that? And so I would have personally done that. However, I can't act like I'm not happy to see him stick with the 4-3-3, given the fact it has worked so well. I can't act like I'm not at all. Because let's be real, the 4-3-3 has been working. It's been fun to watch. I mean, it was a bit rough towards the end of the game, obviously last time, but in general, it's been fun to watch, and I'm loving that midfield trio of Rice, Paqueta, and Souček in a big way. It is, of course, Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. I will say it again. I'm going to mention it a couple of times in the build-up because obviously, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where new people rock up and other people leave, and also I just need to keep reminding myself to do it. Anyway, good to see you, man. But there are ways to watch the game if you can't, because obviously it's one of those things. Saturday 3 p.m. For some reason, we're not allowed to enjoy ourselves and watch football. The powers that be have said no, and so there are definitely ways you can do it if you wish to do it. And while you have a look at that, let's go with this. It's Sub Bingo, ladies and gentlemen. Sub Bingo is, of course, the game where we predict what David Moyes will make his first substitution. You don't have to tell me the exact player, although I've lobbed the bench up there if you're looking for it. If you wanna put a couple of little bits and pieces on there, a bit of sauce on there, a bit of spice on there, you can. However, the minute is the only thing that counts. Again, there is no God here, so there's no science. There's no reason here. It is what it is. So. Here is the bench, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say 69 minutes, as per usual. You know how it goes. And I'm going to say the sub will be, looking at a team, looking at a subs bench, looking at a team. I'm going to say 69. Ben Rama for Fornals. Ben Rama for Fornals, 69 minutes. That's my bet. Sub bingo, ladies and gentlemen. Get involved. Yeah, we do. Of course, we do, Alan. But when we defend any other one, we change into a 6, and then there's different lines and different things. I understand how it works. To be fair, but it's one of those things where like we defend better with more people at the back. It's easy the way it is, and it's not just that. It's also the way we play in 5/3, however you want to word it. The way we play in that formation allows us, or sort of encourages us, to give them possession of the ball, which is what they're going to have anyway. If we're trying to play a style of football where we need a bit more possession, and we're going up against a team who have the most amount of possession in the league, higher than Manchester City, then it feels kind of anti that idea, because we're just not going to be able to get possession of the ball that much. And if we're playing, a style of football which necessitates us having the ball, then trying to grab that ball when we're only going to have 30% possession maybe today, then it feels negative. It feels antithetical. Whereas if we were playing a style of football, if we were taking our tactic, which just allows them to have the ball, and then we just sort of go and purely counter, which is what the 3/5 we play is, that feels like another idea for me. But you're not wrong, Alan. It's not necessarily that. You're not wrong, no. Elan's going with a 79 minutes. I'm big into the idea of Souček scoring at the moment. I'm just big into the idea of Souček getting forward. I'm loving Souček at the moment. I think he's playing really well, and I think this is exactly what we should have been doing with him the entire time. And I don't get why we stopped. We did it with him before, then we stopped doing it for some reason, and I don't really understand why. And now we're back to doing it. Good times. I'm loving that. I'm absolutely loving that. And if he gets goal, it'll be big. Eat a belt every 10 minutes. So we have two. I will say we have two baby bells. I picked one out last night to eat one because I was just hungry. And it looks a bit weird, so I don't know. But we do have two. If one's a bit weird, I might just overrule and go, I'm not eating that. But we do have two in. So they are available. Bells are available. Major save 54 minutes. Hedgie for Areola. Bold. You got to stay true to your vibes. You know what I mean? 74th minute says Daza. Braw is going with a 73 minute Skamaka. I don't get what I don't understand the rules, bro. I don't understand the rules at all. Bowen on for 73 minutes. I get why it exists, but at the same 73 minutes says Clam for Bowen. I understand why they do it. I get it, but I think it's just old thinking, and I think it's ridiculous that it's still in play, if we're being perfectly honest about it. I think Skamaka and Ing should play up front together for this game. I think there's an option for them to play up front together at some point, definitely. Whether it's this game or another one, I want to see it happen. I'd love to see it happen. It's not really Gamaka's strong suit. Although, to be fair, I think it could work. I think you look at it and you think it could work. It just depends what you put around them, right? It just depends what you put around them. But I want to see it happen at some point, Beanie, definitely. Alan, it's saying 45 minutes Cresswell. 85th minute, Cresswell for Emerson. Skamaka set for Ings. 75th minute, says the Broomfields. Antonio has apparently picked up a knock, Martin, according to The Athletic. That's all I've heard, is that he's picked up a knock. Richard's saying 45. Fornals says just Matt, he's off. Ings on 23rd minute injured. Skamaka on stress. Rubber Finger 63 minutes. Skamaka for Ings. While I go through the rest of these. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. So it's time to lock in those score predictions. We've been discussing the teams. We've discussed the subs. We've discussed everything else beforehand, the intricacies with Gio. We've been here for a hot minute. We've been here for an hour now. And so it's time to get those final score predictions in, to lock them in. Right, I'm going to get out ahead because I'm saying 2-1 Brighton. But I want to see those vibes, do you know what I mean? And maybe we can swing this one round. I'm looking into on Brighton, but I want to see the vibes. You know what I mean? I want to see the vibes. While I go through the rest of these sub bingos, Lassie's saying 4 nows on for Benny, 81st minute, very late, respect it. Mark Watson says 65 minutes downs for Ben Rama. We are winning 2-0. Would love to see it. Would love to see it. 65th minute, listen. You've got to stick to something. I've always stuck to 69. I'm always going to stick to 69. Even if David Moyes became the Ten Hag of West Ham and started doing halftime subs and all this stuff like that. Even if he started doing, don't care. I'm sticking with 69 because that's my number and I've chosen it. You know? Is there any rhyme or reason? No. Skamaka for Souček, halftime surprise. We got 2 up front. Bloody Dean. David's already sweating playing a 4-3-3, a 4-4-2 type thing. He's probably going to terrify him. More change. I don't know how to deal with that. 25th minute, edgy for Ings when we're 1-0 up. Keep it tight, lads. I would respect it. It would make no sense, and that's kind of why I'd respect Iron's analysis. That's kind of what I want. Just some random movements, you know. One great thing about here in the USA, every EPL game live. Yes, exactly. It's a big thing. Charlie's on a diet. I wish that were true. Trying to eat sensibly, yes. Definitely not on a diet. I mean, so far today, I have eaten 2 bananas and a packet of Pom Bears. So it's up and down. It's up and down. Let's have a look at these score predictions. Good to see you, Stu. Disabled Team, another amazing channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I haven't watched Extra Time yet, Stu. I'm fuming. I missed it because I was out last night, and so I missed it, and I haven't had time to watch it back. When I'm editing tonight, all night, which is going to be my life today, I'm going to lob it in the background and have a little listen because Extra Time special on YouTube. Don't care what it says. But if you haven't already, subscribe to Disabled Team. The game is not on Sky today, Richard, because it is a Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff, so games are not allowed to be shown on television at all. They don't let it. They don't have it. Deploy the boys. Let's go. By the way, if you're looking for a different style of watch along, if you don't want mine, and by different style, what I mean is a good one, Lucas does a banging one over on E20 Zone TV. I don't know if they're doing one today, but all I'm saying is you should watch it. Let's go through these final locked in score predictions. Says lock them in, boys. We're talking 3-3, says Philip. Callum says 2-1 to the Hammers. Rubberfinger says 2-1 to the Hammers. Lucas is saying 2-1 West Ham. Let's go. Mark is saying 2-1 to the Hammers. Gav saying 2-1. Come on, you Irons. Keith is saying 2-1 West Ham. Harsh, but I completely understand it, to be fair. That's a great point. I don't understand it at all. It's such an old thing. I don't know. We're getting into the weeds. 3-1, but I strongly agree with you, Stu. 3-1 front 3 to score. Love that. Simon. Desmond. 2-2 says the Cornet deception. Graham saying 2-1 to the Hammers. I can't stream the game because I will get in trouble with YouTube and they'll be very, very unhappy with me. The Premier League will come for my life. So we can't do that. But there are definitely ways to do it. Link in the description below. I will, of course, maybe potentially slightly behind you. And if I am, then what I would recommend is that you check out the timer in the top right-hand corner. It'll appear in just a second once this animation is done, in which it will be able to tell you exactly... Up there, it'll be able to tell you exactly how far behind I am. Here it is up there. That will tell you exactly how far I made that noise, and I'm not sure why. How far behind you I am, because kickoff is moments away, ladies and gentlemen. It's moments away, because I am, of course, in the snowy state of Idaho. In North Idaho. 2-1 to us, says Dean. Love that. 1-0 to the Hammers, says TSC, sorry, 777. I apologize, TSC. Terrible on my behalf. John saying 2-1. We're losing 2-0, says Harrison. 2-1. Rice Masterclass. 1-0. 3-1. 1-1. This match is 2-4. This match is 2-4-0 straight. West Ham win. Highly expected as its first goal on either 8th or 10th or 12th game minutes. Let's go. Retest. Yes, lad. Let's go. Come on. 4-1 to West Ham, says Norman. You can see there's a lot of confidence. There's a lot of confidence. You love to see it. I'd love to see it. Right, I've got to turn on the North Idaho TV network, and hope for the best for the next 5 minutes of my life. Like I say, I will be ever so slightly behind you. The chances are I'll be slightly behind you, given I'm in North Idaho today. At my best friend Danny DeVito's holiday home. I will be slightly behind you. However, that time I will tell you exactly where I am. Ladies and gentlemen, it is West Ham United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. No, although I wish I was going to the Formula 1 starting again this weekend, and I've been thinking a lot about the Miami Grand Prix and the Las Vegas one, and probably the fact that Adam Frankel will probably wind his way up there, the little weasel. It is West Ham United versus Brighton in the Premier League. Just a stray shot at the side there, which will be kicking off just a moment at the Amex, formerly the Amex. I think now is it called the Brighton Community? So what's it called now, or is it still the Amex? I don't remember. But a big game and a big test. West Ham feeling a little bit rejuvenated despite obviously the loss against Manchester United. There certainly feels like there's a positive vibe around the team at the moment, and this is a big test. The bogey team, Brighton, De Zerbi, possession specialist. I'm expecting us to have basically none. It's about to be under the way. Thank you very much for joining, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a good day if you're just sticking around here for the build-up. Kickoff is about to happen on my screen. If you're sticking around, though, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. We are underway. Come on, you Irons that got away from it in the end. Deploy the boys. It's time to run two things indeed. West Ham kick off. And it's Brighton Hove Albion versus West Ham. That got completely away from me at the end of there, in the middle of that. It got completely away from me. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. 300 likes is the goal. That's always our vibe. And we've been hitting it fairly handily recently, I should say. And we are already on 258. So if you haven't already liked the video, make sure to lob a like in there. At the same time, what I'll say is that subscribe if you're new around here. While it's a midfield battle at the beginning of this game, fairly scrappy, make sure to subscribe, because we're the only West Ham channel who did a watch along every single game last season without fail. We were here, and we do it basically all of the bloody time. You know, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that if there's a West Ham match on, we'll be here providing links, talking through the game together. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on future videos, because we also upload every other day. Every single day we upload. It's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit OTT. And yet here we are. Early ball round the back, looking for Tariq Lamptey, who's just flying forward. He's in the corner being absolutely manhandled by Angelo Ogbonna, who just didn't let him go anywhere. Brighton managed to maintain possession of the ball, which is something you're going to hear a lot of today. They're playing the ball around fairly nicely. Out wide. So I think that's Solly March, who tries to take it from... Oh, I thought he was going to try and take it past Emerson there. He tried to take it past Emerson, and I'll be honest with you, Emerson did really well. I thought it was going to be a corner, but he did well. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. Big up the North Idaho Massive, you know what I mean? Are they? Wild. Oh my God, wild. It's very snowy, Gav Dog. Very snowy, you know how it goes. It's a snowy. Dean can confirm he's a fellow North Idahoan, and it's snowy. It's snowy. Who scored against Arsenal, by the way? Well, that stopped Gio's bet. He said Martinelli, so that stopped that one. Come on, Rich. Yes. I know, me too. I did see you guessing Craig Dawson when the Patreon thing was kicking off. I did see that. Miss him. I just miss him. You hate to see it. You really do. You really do. Patreon.com/AmishChat, by the way. I feel like I probably should promote it. That's all I've got to say right now. That's all I've got to say. Tariq Lamptey charging forward. Bad pass. Looking for the run of Ferguson. Ben Rama just tried an early crossfield ball there, just smacked into one of Brighton's players, and it goes all the way back to Jason Steele. Middlesbrough legend, Jason Steele. I think I learned after the last game not to ridiculously enunciate some players' names after what happened with the Fred. Good work from Thomas Souček there. They were dawdling on the ball a little bit, Brighton, as they're one to do, and Souček just came diving in with a side tackle, almost landed perfectly in Danny Ings' feet just outside the area. It doesn't quite work out, and again, Brighton maintain possession of the ball. Once more out to Tariq Lamptey. Lots of early work down this right-hand side. Solly March, Tariq Lamptey down there getting a lot of the ball, but not a lot of joy as of yet. I mean, it's not even 5 minutes into the game yet, but still. I can say the what's the word I'm looking for? The I was gonna say freak. That's not a word. Foul against Brighton for us. There we go. Lucas Paqueta going down. What's the word I'm looking for? The chaos-loving gremlin, let's go with, inside the back of me, has been very excited for this game because Brighton have... I didn't realise, right, until Jack Elderton off of Analytics United. Yes, the very same. Something you should definitely go check out. Of course, it's on our Patreon with Hamalytics. I do a show with him called Hamalytics over there. Patreon.com/HamaChat. But yeah, over at Analytics United is where you'll find Jack's stuff, and it's very, very good. I didn't realise how absolutely wild Brighton's possession has been since De Zerbi has taken over until he informed me of that. It's one of those things where I felt like I'd watched them and I was like, yeah, doing well, and they'll keep possession, blah, 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 blah. They're getting like 75% in the Premier League against some teams. And since he told me that about a month ago, maybe a bit longer than that, I can't act like the chaos-loving gremlin in the back of my mind hasn't been very excited for this match, just because I'm like, we are going to have so little possession. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. Ogbonna charging out to just get involved with McAllister there. And that's a nice ball out to Matoma on the on the left-hand side even. A heavy touch, and a shot does come in in the end from Ferguson, but can't quite angle it. In. See, snowy but lovely. It is lovely. Snowy, but it is lovely. Eyes analysis. I can't tell you how I know, but what I can say is it will help. You know, will help. Maybe the top one. Maybe the top one after that. I don't know. I can't really tell you, but all I'll say is, it's helping. Obviously, VPNs, ad block, all that stuff. Highly recommended. Yeah. But I've been very excited to see just how little possession we'll have in this game. So far, so little. He got a knock, apparently. According to The Athletic, he got a knock, and so he's not in the match day squad. Might have got a knock in warm-up or training. I don't know. I think we've only got 8 people on the bench again today, so I'm not sure. But he did get a knock, apparently. Are we 21? Are we 21 off? Are we 21 off? Oh, mate, we're 19 off now. UK Cockney boy, listen, better late than never. I hope you're well. Caicedo, Matoma, a bunch of them there, just swarming Paqueta, winning a free kick wide on that right-hand touchline. One of the things I like about this 4-3-3, which I don't know if it helps us. In fact, I'd be pretty certain it doesn't. Oh, it's not a free kick. It's just going to be a goal kick. Okay, fair enough. One of the things I like about this 4-3-3 lineup, which I'm not certain helps, but I do just like the vibe of, is the fact that both sides have like an identity. Where you look at the right-hand side, you've got a lot of work rate going on down there, be it Johnson/Soufal. Good interception there, but it's a good interception from Emerson, and then stops up well. I'll tell you what, Emerson did really well there. You have the right-hand side, which has a lot of work rate, be it either Johnson or Soufal. Then you've got Souček over there. and Jared Bowen, and then on the left hand side you have a bit more flair. You've got Emerson, you've got Paqueta, you've got Ben Rama. I quite like the fact we've got a bit of identity on each side. It has a bit of it's got a bit of vibe about it. Does it help? Don't know, honestly. Not entirely certain. But I do quite like that fact. Good interception from Paqueta. Just light works. Caicedo just basically passing it straight to him. But Estupinian does well to dispossess the Brazilian. And now Brighton can counter-attack. It's with Pascal Gross, who tries to just link it forward to Ferguson. And Emerson does well to cut that one out. Clears it out. Clears it out. Yeah, he got a little bit caught up in himself there. Don't mind it at this stage. However, yeah, I agree. 8 off 300. 8 off 300. We're going to grind our way there today, apparently. See what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. And it makes it even more important what Josh is saying here. We need to make more of them opportunities when we turn over the ball. Pull from Paqueta there. You need to, if you are only going to have very little possession, which is what we're going to have today. Yeah, that's a poor pass from Thomas Souček. Just behind Ben Rama, can't make it go. Then we need to make that work better. We need to be taking those opportunities, creating from that. And that's one thing we have struggled to do, even in this formation. I know we scored 4 against Nottingham Forest, which feels a bit insane to say we scored 4 and yet we weren't creating as much opportunities as we should. But I do feel like that's the case. And so if that is the way it's going to happen, we need to make the most of those. We need to be better at creating that. And that's something that is yet to come this season in general, but has yet to come full force yet. Hopefully today's the day it'll happen. Jay, good to see you. Hope you're well. It's a great film, Dean. It's a great film. It's every film like that. It's every film like that, but it is a great film. My mum used to get really annoyed at the show Ugly Betty. Good interception there from Ben Johnson, does well. Gia was talking about the split perception of Ben Johnson's last game. Some people thought he played really well, and some people he wasn't all that. I thought he played really well. I'm really happy with him. My mum used to get really frustrated by Ugly Betty, the show, right? The title and the fact that she was classed as ugly. My mum was like, I don't get it. She's kind of like nice and good looking and adorable. Why people calling her ugly for? She used to get really frustrated by that fact. Shout out American Ferrera. Big West Ham fan, I've heard. Hammers Chat sub on the Patreon, patreon.com/Hammers Chat. I'm sure she's watching this. Shout out America. I hope you're well. Not the country, the person. Solly March does really well there. Skips past 1, skips past 2, hits it. I tell you what, it was quite easy. Oh my god, I've just seen Gonzo as well. There he is. I've just seen him as well. The replay, when it cut, and you just see him like very sort of forceful clapping there. Yeah, I will say as much as look, I respect my mum for saying that, and I love my mum dearly. I will say she was watching that show Superstore on Netflix a couple of weeks ago. Actually, a couple of months ago, she was watching it, and she said she was watching this show called Superstore. She's like, "Oh, it's really good. Have you seen it?" I'm like, "No," and I clicked on it, and then I said, "You know the main character, you know the woman in that's Ugly Betty." And she went, "Is it?" So I don't know if you can judge her. I don't know if you can take her judgment on Ugly Betty too much when she didn't even recognise the woman in a different show. But still, big boot out from Brighton. Big boot out from us, and it's going to be yet another Brighton throw. Possession-wise, it's gone exactly as we expected it. It's gone exactly as we've expected. Shoganovic, no. Yeah, front row HDU. They just thought, once the goal happened, they green screened the player, cropped him out, put him on a nude beach, and there's Gonzo. Batoma trying to go through everyone, and it's just run out well by Ben Johnson. It was just random. It was just random because I saw someone in the chat say it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to look forward to this." And then the shot happens. It cuts to the side, and there he was. Just very forcefully clapping. Very exciting stuff. Tariq Lamptey is down. Tariq Lamptey is down. Hopefully nothing serious. He's losing out on the ball quite a lot. So, I mean, from that perspective, you'd probably want to keep him in. But hopefully, for his own sake, nothing serious. Yeah, we might end up seeing Gonzo a couple of times because I suspect there's going to be a couple of shots from that sort of area. We're seeing Solly March's chance from there. Takes it past. Managed to take it through 3 different people. He sort of Paqueta's trying to show him inside. Well, actually, they're both sort of trying to do different things. Everyone's trying to do a different thing there. Solly March was being shown inside, outside. He's shown loads of different places, and no one really goes close to getting to tackling him at all as he works his way past 3 separate West Ham players and gets a shot away. Thankfully, the shot at the end's awful. It's not awful. It's just a bit lackluster straight at Areola, but still. Mackenzie, good to see you. There are bells today. There are 2 bells available. I might overrule it if they look a bit weird, but there are 2 available. Ollie Keane, better late than never, my friend. Hope you well. But yeah, I got one out last night, and it just looked a bit weird, so I didn't eat it. So there are 2 left, and if one of them looks a bit weird, I probably won't eat. But we'll see. If the chat want it, the chat want it. Game continues, and Tariq Lamptey goes straight back down. He is going to have to come off. He's going to have to come off. De Zerbi, who's up in the stands, doing a Sam Allardyce today. Doing a Sam Allardyce on the phone to his assistant. Gonna have to make a change for Tariq Lamptey. And you never see someone... personally, I don't like to see anyone get injured, so the opposition... If it's the opposition anyway. Oh, it didn't look comfortable there. Did I tell you what? It looks painful. Oh. I think he rolls his... I think it's his ankle, maybe. He just lands weirdly on it after going up for a header and sort of wobbles and rolls it a bit. It does not look comfortable. He's walking, but, yeah, not good. Yeah, I can't remember... What was that one called? I've never watched the film, but I've seen people talking about the film and how that's the vibe. And also, specifically talking about the hacky sack thing, which is a vibe. Veltman coming on now for Tariq Lamptey. Gio will be very, very frustrated. He put Veltman in his starting 11 on the Patreon prediction show. Straight away comes up Lamptey on instead of him, and he was like, "Oh, I've got it wrong." Bang, he's straight back on. Sorry, I apologize, MC Kens. I apologize. It's also Kelsey. I've got everything wrong there. Is what I've done, MC. I apologize, Kelsey. I've got literally everything wrong there. Not even a bit. Not even one. I've not even just got it like. It's not even MC Kenzie. There's an L in there. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's disgraceful from me. That's absolutely disgraceful from me. Kelsey, I apologize. I will try and endeavour to get that right in the future. If I get it wrong, feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. I apologise. It's 300 likes, by the way. We've hit it. Get in there. We're playing with free money now. You'll have to see it. I'm sorry, Kelsey. That's disgraceful from me. That's absolutely disgraceful from me. Brian flying forward. I'm just dumb. Solly March on the right-hand side. He's caused a couple of problems. Big switch out looking for Matoma. Oh, Ben Johnson gets caught out a little bit. Jarrod Bowen bundles him over. It's a penalty to Brighton. Look, it will go to VAR. It looked a little bit 50-50-ish. But Matoma collects the ball. Ben Johnson couldn't quite get there. The ball, a big crossfield pass from Solly March over to Matoma on the left-hand side. Ben Johnson jumps up for it. Maybe just can't quite get there. Maybe misjudges it slightly. To be fair, it's quite far away from him. And Matoma takes the touch, goes into the box. I don't know. Jarrod Bowen does come across. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, it's not... It's a penalty. It is a penalty, and VAR will confirm it's a penalty. I highly doubt VAR will turn that down Yeah, VAR definitely a penalty. It's just clumsy from Jarrod Bowen. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep. It should have been a 50-50, but he's a little bit too slow to get to Matoma, and instead he sort of ends up barging him in the back. Legs get caught up amongst each other, and it's a pen. Clumsy as all hell from... Clumsy as all hell. Areola, not a great penalty saver, if we're being honest. Up against Alexis McAllister, who I think is all right. In my head, I've got him down as all right. I'm not sure, but McAllister hits it. Right into that top corner. It's 1-0. It's a great pen. Well, it's not... they've not looked that dangerous yet, Brighton, apart from Solly March decided to go through everyone, until Jarrod Bowen decided to give him a pen. It's 1-0 to Brighton. It's a penalty. It's Solly March who gets it. What can you do? What can you do? It's a great pen, to be fair. Well, it's not a great pen. It's a good penalty. It's a good penalty. You'd want it more in the corner, ideally, but he's hit it hard. He's hit it strong. He's hit it true. Straight into that top left-hand corner. Not quite as high and as wide in the corner as you'd want, but it's a good hit. Areola goes the right way, but he can't get there. It's Brighton 1, West Ham United now. And a big mountain to climb now. A very big mountain to climb. For a side who haven't been that great at creating chances, haven't been that good creating in general, Ferguson instantly putting Ogbonna under pressure. He might be able to win another corner here. Ogbonna does well to just keep that as a throw-in, but that was close. For a side who have struggled to create all season, going 1-0 down away at Brighton to a very, very silly penalty like that is very frustrating. Declan Rice is struggling now. He's holding his eye. Oh, contact lens. Contact lens. I did see someone in the chat say the word contact lens a second ago. Where is it? Lost the contact lens. There you go. Well, at least it's not a serious injury. I'd be a bit concerned if it was a serious injury. Contact lens, that's fine. You can replace that. Like I said, I suspected it would be like this, right? While we're waiting for Declan Rice, let's have a look. Let's see if I can find what the current possession stats are. I suspected it would be like this in terms of numbers, right? You're looking at the possession stats here. We have Brighton on 77% possession, obviously compared to our 23, right? That is very obvious. And like I said, this was expected. From me, at least, this was very much expected. We haven't created a single shot yet. It's just not happening for us as of now. We have won an aerial duel, though, so vibes. But this is exactly what was expected against Brighton, and kind of what I was trying to say at the beginning. Whereas if that is going to be what they're going to go with, then maybe we should just go for the sort of counter-attacking formation. The sort of, you can have possession, and then we're just going to ping them on it. But again, we've not really created enough chances, and we've not created enough good chances on that formation to justify it. And let's be real, but we've not really been creating as many chances as we should with this formation either. It's been better, but it hasn't been enough. Which, again, is a bit weird. Oh, nice touch from Danny Ings there into the path of Jarrod Bowen. Free kick on the halfway line for West Ham. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Given away. Brighton come away with the ball. On his left-hand side, he's got Matoma on the overlap. Overhit massively, and thankfully, Aguirre can just hold him. Estupinian tried to take it around Ben Johnson, who does well, but Estupinian there just knocks it from a standing start, just knocks it round one side of Ben Johnson, sprints around the other side. Lots of talk about David Moyes. 1,000-yard stare, looks dumbfounded. I think they do practice passing, but fair. Archie, I can see you, my bro. Good to see you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good day, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. It's going to be a whip in from the left-hand side corner to Brighton. Puts it into the box. Head away from Thomas Souček. Jarrod Bowen completely misses that header to Estupinian. And then takes him out on the way through. and then plays an awful pass. First time. It came to him a bit quickly. I'm not even sure what he was trying to do with that one, to be honest with you. It's gone out wide to Mitoma, who's wide on the right-hand side at this point. Lays it short to Veltman on the overlap. Sonny March is there as well. Brighton stretching the play. We're just chasing it around right now. Pinged in. Nice big crossfield diag over to Veltman, who thankfully, first time cross was awful and it goes straight out for a throw-in. But man, Bowen looking very awful right now. Looking just looking dodgy. Looking dodgy right now. That first time pass just all over the shop. CB, Charlie Boy, my bro, my twin, just what a man. Hope you well. All of those words got away with me. CB, by the way, I've been trying to. I can't figure out how I can message you. I've been trying to message you, and I can't figure out how because I don't have your don't have your thing. You said Bowen has to bury that. I'm assuming that's what's about to happen here. Bowen skips past one. He's charging into the box. Jared Bowen straight at the goalkeeper. He creates the opportunity, so I'll give that side to him. But my God, that was literally straight at the goalkeeper. The shot, and it's cleared away. My God, that's annoying. Aguirre does well there, takes it past one, lays it short into Paqueta. This is nicely done from West Ham. Paqueta finds Thomas Souček, tries to pull it across with Danny Ings, can't quite find it. Ben Rama on the edge of the area. Can't shape the space to do anything. Tries to take it onto his left to get the crossing, can't. Back to Emerson, whips it in. Souček started to go for the head. That was ridiculous. Referee waves play on, but that was hilarious. Souček just started climbing all over him, realised it wasn't going to be anywhere near where he was and just gave up. But fully was just like, you're going down, I'm going up. That was bold. Yeah, CB, let me know how I can message you, or message me if you can somehow. Because I've been trying to figure out a way to message you, bro, and I can't figure it out. I'm an idiot. So yeah, message me somehow or let me know how. And but Jared Bowen there picks it up. It's a good counter attack. That's the sort of thing we need to be better at. And I tell you what, it's not. He should have done better. It should be literally anywhere but directly at Steele. However, I'll take it as it's a good sign going forward because that's the sort of counter attacking we need. We need to just turn on in those situations. Bang, quickly, bosh. And we can go forward. Solly March went down there. Looked like he was about to get up because the referee wasn't looking. And then when the referee did turn around and look, he decided to go back down again. I'm not saying it's not serious, but he's in some pain. I know, literally just to the why it's straight at Steele. Straight at Steele. Someone said it. Where is it? Trying to find it. Not this, but you're not wrong, Chris. Although he's had a couple of good games of late, but he's nowhere near what he was like. Oh, I can't flipping find it. Where is it? Can't find it. But someone said a Bowen of last season would have buried that, and there's an argument. I mean, whoever's defending that, I don't know who that is. Number 4, Webster. Webster does well, to be fair. So it sort of forces Bowen into a situation where he would have to put it to the left, but he just doesn't. It's very frustrating. Message man on Gram. All right, cool. What's your Insta, bro? Or actually, don't worry. If you don't want to say it out loud, that's fine as well. I can get it off Rebecca. I'll just message Rebecca. I'm sure she has it. I will have to re-download Instagram, but if it means talking to my boy, then I will re-download Instagram. Or do I have it on here? I don't know. Don't think I do. Don't think I ever downloaded it on here. I'll figure it out. Solly March is now hobbling off. I don't know whether he's going to be able to continue or not, but a second injury for Brighton from their wide players, not useful. This right-hand side is really struggling. It has been very much exactly how I would have expected this game to have gone. Hit and miss so far, but it's been very little possession from him. I mean, we've obviously had such a minus amount. We've had such a small amount, is what I should say, of possession, which is exactly what I expected. That it's difficult to judge anyone's sort of performances outside of massive mistakes. And Jared Bowen obviously giving away the penalty, missing that opportunity, an awful pass in the build up to that as well, just before. It's not exactly a vibe. Although Thomas Souček again doing well, just nipping in off the problem from Ferguson there, and West Ham regain possession of the ball. We don't want to be this deep with it, but that's fine. Areola looking to play it forward. Souček tries to nod it on that time. It's just a complete waste, but there we go. Declan Rice nods it down straight to Brighton for a throw-in. I'd have to look back at it, but that makes sense. That does make sense. It was on his side. Oh, no, he does, doesn't he? He goes to try. Yeah, he misjudges the header and can't get there. To be fair, he's running across from the backwards angle that you see, which is the only one I've really been able to judge him for properly. He's sort of sprinting across to try and get there and doesn't get there and just misjudges it. But I can imagine if I watched it again, you would see that he's in the wrong starting position and can't get there. So that's fair. That's fair. And that forces Jarrod Bowen to have to come in. Again, Jarrod Bowen's just, it's bad. It's stupid. But yeah, that's fair. We'll do, bro. We'll do. I have an Instagram account. But I've only ever used it to message my mate Luke because he never had anything I could message him on before. And then, I didn't re-download it because now my mate Luke has finally got WhatsApp, so I can just message him there. But I will. I'll get the thing off her. But I hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well regardless. Because I've been trying to figure it out for like a week at least. Brighton regaining possession of the ball, but it's scrappy on that left-hand side of the pitch. West Ham doing well. Biqueta, nice first-time pass into the path of Ben Rama. He sort of runs directly into trouble there. That's really poor from Ben Rama. He wins a free kick off McAllister, but to be honest with you, that wasn't very good. That wasn't very good. He sort of received the pass nicely from Biqueta, who opened up his body. Nice first-time pass into Ben Rama, who does well, and he has sort of space. He's under pressure from a couple of Brighton players. But he just decides to run in a straight line. He doesn't lift his head up at any point. He could have angled it ever so slightly forward, but just decides to run directly across the bit. I don't know. Pre-injury Ogbonna was incredible, wasn't he, Matty? Unreal. I'll be honest, he's done well since he's come back in general. He's had some rough, he's had some good games. I think he's done well enough in general. But pre-injury Ogbonna was immense. That final run he had was just bananas. It's one way of putting it, Rich. It's one way of putting it, Richard. Areola, big boot forward, looking for the head of Biqueta. Sure. All good interception there from Jarrod Bowen. I tell you what, he does well there. And Souček does nicely to flick it on first time quickly to Biqueta. Flies forward. Oh, that's a nice pass. Looking for Danny Ings. Can't quite find it. A little bit overhit, but nicely done. A little of a no-look Biqueta through ball there for Danny Ings. It's the kind of stuff you love to see. Danny Ings just can't quite get there. It's a little bit too far ahead of him, but he does well to win I assume it goes out for a throw-in as opposed to a corner, but Danny Ings just smacking it into Webster. It's going to be, I think it might actually be a corner. I'm not sure. That was really nicely done, though, to be fair. It is. It's a corner on the right-hand side. It's Jarrod Bowen to take it. Souček in there. Again in there. The Dome. Ogbonna in there. Big boys doing big bits. Whipped into the box. Headed away by the bigger boy, Webster. He is large. They also have Dunk as well. Another big man. Big men doing big football. I don't know how tall Webster is. He's quite large, but it really was nice. That little just open, like, little no-look, pat. You know, pat. That's the way I would describe it. Pat. Sometimes I say things and I regret them. And it's never like a bad thing. It's never a bad thing, you know. It's always just dumb stuff like that, and you go, you let yourself down, Charlie. Brighton just calmly passing it around. Flicked forward, Caicedo to McAllister. Finds Estupinian. Just passing it around again here, Brighton. It's what you're going to hear me say a lot. We're trying to find our sort of defensive positions. It is that sort of in defence, the 4-1-4-1 type thing. As they break through the lines here on the right-hand side, Solly March trying to find his way forward, finds Veltman. They're passing it about on the right-hand touchline, forced all the way back. The 4-1-4-1 shape does quite well. Once they move through that, I'm interested to see sort of how it looks a little bit. But Declan Rice just sits behind the four, you would imagine, and then you obviously have Danny Ings sort of by himself in an isolated role up front, right? Makes sense. And the thing is about Brighton having possession and being patient, which is a good way. Charlie Boy said in the chat earlier, he said the word patient. I think that's a good way of wording it. A Richer Sounds advert around the side of the stadium. I don't know why. I've just never expected to see Richer Sounds of all places advertised in a football stadium. I don't know. Shout out Richer Sounds. Been there many a time. But anyway, yeah, the thing is with them being patient and calm and having a lot of heavy possession, but not blisteringly far forward, they're more than happy to just sort of play amongst themselves to slowly work their way forward with the ball. Estupiñán pins it in. Good header away. Is that it does allow us to set up in our defensive formation relatively well. And outside of that, I don't think it's what I'll say is I don't think it's a big shock that when they did manage to hit a big crossfield pass to just switch up the play, that was when they got in and that was when the penalty happened, right? Because when they sort of calmly build up play like they're doing right now and sort of slowly work their way through the lines and are happy to sort of take their time on the ball, a lot of the time literally stand there with the ball and watch what's going on before they start anything. Those sort of quick switches play are going to be useful because it's going to allow us to set up defensively and then they hit it across to it, bang, 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 and there you go, right? Out wide to Solly March now on the right-hand side. Again, just lots of people in his way. Played in. Easy header away from Ogbonna. Caicedo's pass to the left is awful. And it goes out for a throw. And Caicedo probably missed his opportunity for a big move, you'd suspect at this point. I can't lie. After the way it all happened when he didn't get his move and how negative everything went and, you know, everything else. I'm watching him today and I'm like, this was the guy who Arsenal were going to pay so much money for, who that team were going to pay so much money for. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Estupiñán thrown on the left-hand side for Brighton. And instantly we force them back. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. But again, that's just Brighton. It's just Brighton under De Zerbi, man. That's what they do. Lofted out wide to Veltman. The problem is if this was 0-0 and they were passing it around like this, it wouldn't be that deep because it's like, all right, well, you're not really going to score doing this. Like, you're only going to score once you get up the other end and do something special, right? At this point, you're not really doing anything special. You're just sort of passing it around amongst each other. We're putting a sort of a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Show pressing, let's say. We're not really going at them. We're not really trying to do anything. We're just sort of going, to sort of like, you know, force them into a little bit, but not really doing anything in maybe a slightly risk-adverse passing side. To a sort of slightly risk-averse passing side, you know what I mean? So it would be fine, but it is obviously 1-0 to Brighton, and so the onus is on us to actually get a goal. Big ball forward looking for Matoma. Ben Johnson keeping up with him. Does well. Matoma almost managed to wriggle his way past him, and Ben Johnson does really well. Wins a goal kick. Not entirely certain how he did. I'm not going to lie. That was definitely that definitely looked like a hit of Johnson last. But I tell you what, Johnson did well. Matoma looked like he was away. He was in an awkward situation. Matoma just controls it nicely. Yeah, it was definitely Ben Johnson's last touch. I don't know how he's managed to get that, but you know, I'm not complaining. Do you know what I mean? We sort of it's show pressing, right? Like we sort of go, oh, we'll give something a shot, and then we just sort of back down again. Yeah, it's not like we're trying to do anything. It's just there. I'm giving it. I'll give it my best. I'll give it my best. 43%. I'll be honest with you. You're not missing much. I'll be honest with you. You're not missing much. About 10 minutes to go in the first half, stoppage time included, and this match is going to continue to be this. So we have to make the most of these opportunities. When we get the ball, we're going to have to make the most of it. That's what makes the Jared Bowen shot straight at the goalkeeper frustrating. That's what makes little like missed opportunities like that frustrating, you know? Because Brighton aren't playing significantly better than us, right? Like, obviously, it feels like we're awful because we can't get the ball. But this is what Brighton do to everyone. It's not like they're playing significantly better than us. It's just they're very calm and waiting on the ball. Nice ball, flicking through to Ferguson. Does good defending there. Good defending just to stop him from going anywhere. Finds it out to Solly March. Brighton finally, after about 14 hours on the ball, have managed to get into a good advanced position. Solly March takes one touch, whips it into a really good space. And Matoma can't quite get it in. It's not like I say that it's not like, look, they are obviously playing better than us, but it's not like they're absolutely decimating us. It's just that they're very willing to pass the ball around the way, and we're very willing to give them the ball, you know? It's that sort of vibe. The big difference is that they look like they can actually create at the other end, because once they get into the final third, they get a lot quicker. They start the passing about gets a little bit more zippy, and it does create those little bit of spaces that they can find. Whereas with us, we're playing poor. But I don't know, it's a really difficult game to assess. Because the thing is, they could do this all game. All it takes is one chance for us, bang, and we get it, right? The problem is, we're just not getting those chances. You know, and when we do, we hit it directly at the goalkeeper. Pascal Gross to take a second corner in quick succession. The first one just got butted away instantaneously. Second one gets whipped in, headed away once again from West Ham. Slightly awkwardly. Oh, bloody hell. Solly March almost found himself in an unreal position there. Late challenge, easy foul. Would have preferred us to have done that a little bit quicker, but Emerson does well to take it past one, but the second player just instantly draws it in. And back to Brighton having possession of the ball. I can see boys change the fight back. Like I said, I felt like it made more sense to us because this was obviously going to happen. I felt like it was very clear. Like I can't put it. Oh, it was a nice idea from Danny Ings to try and play it through to Jared Bowen. Doesn't quite work. I can't stress how much it felt like this was gonna be the case. Them gonna have all of the possession and us just sitting deep. It was going to happen, and so I felt like we might as well just play the full counter-attacking formation as opposed to going for one which we need a bit more from, which we don't have. I don't know. Will he change the five back again? I doubt it, but at the same time, you know, Veltman whips it in, head away from again isn't great. Thomas Suchek, it bounces. It does hit him in the hand, but Brighton have the ball, so it doesn't really make a difference. Solly March looking for there was a moment there where it looked like, I think it was McAllister was making a run. Maybe not. It's a bit tall for McAllister. It just is what it is. What's the maddest you've ever been because of a loss? I don't know, but there were a lot of times where we lost in the sort of first season and a bit after we started doing these. 75% possession at the moment, by the way, if you're wondering. Good interception from Ben Johnson. Where I would get immensely frustrated. And something bad would happen and I would lose it. But I'm not that angry a guy. I'm quite a calm individual the vast majority of the time. So I don't know. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but one of them I would be like, when it would go badly and it felt like Moyes didn't do something that was really obvious, and then the exact thing that was coming would happen, I would get very annoyed. Now I'm just relatively calm about it. I can't remember any specific examples off the top of my head, but especially during that beginning section of Moyes coming back was oof, you know. At least on watch-alongs. The maddest I've ever got. So, where is it? Major says, cup final, I got so frustrated I broke my hand in the pub. The maddest I've ever got outside of watch-alongs. There was a season, must have been 5 years ago, maybe something like that. I can't remember which season it was, where we lost, 4-0 to Manchester United on the opening day. Winston Reid was playing at centre-back. And I was watching it in a pub Brighton come forward. A little block, but they still retain possession of the ball. I'll let you know if something happens. I was in a pub in Somerset watching the game. It was West Ham versus Manchester United, and I was watching it with my mum and my mum's partner, who is a Manchester United fan. And we're watching it, and I've seen lots of games with him before. West Ham, Manchester United. It's not that deep. He's not a Manchester United fan who particularly is mega gloaty or anything, so it's quite easy to watch football with, and I'm not someone who gets mega pissed or angry, so I'm quite easy to watch football with, so we can very happily watch Manchester United versus West Ham together and it not be the end of the world, right? But there was something about being in that pub, and it was a really small pub in a small town in Somerset, and everyone in there was a Manchester United fan, and it wasn't that many people. It was only like 12 of us watching the game or something. It wasn't like a load of people, but they were very, very gloaty. And there was something about that situation that just absolutely, I lost my mind. I was just fuming at it. And I remember just Winston Reid, we were like 4-0 down at this point. Something like Emerson getting forward, tries to cross, it's a good block, it's only much, it's going to be a corner. We'll take that. It's something. I mean, Emerson just has to run into a dead end there. There's literally no options ahead of him. And so he just has to just go and just see what he can do. Tries to cross the ball and it deflects out from the cross and it's going to be a corner. So we'll take that. Again, it's just the counter-attacking for us has just been bad all season, and it continues to be that. But hey, our second corner of the game, what a vibe. Not looking at chat because obviously I'll know you lot will know whether this corner goes in or not, so I won't look until after. Whipped in. Dinks over. It's going to be another corner. I think it was Dunk who got the final header on it. Maybe Webster. I'm not sure. It was a big man in the middle, so it was one or two. They've zoomed in on Dunk, so I'm going to say it's Dunk. Do you remember we almost bought Dunk? Sam Allardyce really, really wanted Dunk back in the day. I remember that. This was when obviously Dunk was only just sort of starting making his name at a Championship Brighton, and Sam Allardyce was really into Dunk. He really wanted him. Just never got onto it. Second corner. Jarrod Bowen from the right hand side this time. Whips it in, headed away. Oh, Matoma does really well just to nip around. I think that's Emerson. Fakes him out, plays it into the path of Ben Johnson. Easy out. So yeah, there was a time where he was just big into Dunk. Just huge into Dunk. Just loved the idea of bloody Dunk. Non-stop. 3 minutes of at a time. But yeah, I was in this pub and it was like 12 of us watching, and they were quite like sarcastic, like, oh, look at us, we're winning, Manchester United fans, which is, you know, whatever, you're winning 4-0, you probably have the right to do that, right? And I don't know why, it just made me furious, and I'm not an angry person in my life at all. I tend not to get angry at anything, really. I'm not that kind of person. We've completed 69 passes, nice. I mean, Brighton have completed 300, but we've completed 69, nice. And I remember Winston Reid misplacing a pass when we were like 4-0 down, and me like slamming my hand on the table and saying something along the lines of, for F's sake, you get paid 80 grand a week. How can you not pass? Like, just like fuming, screaming it, like so angry. And like one of the Manchester United fans, like who was just behind me going, ooh, and me being like, no, I can't be fucking arse, like shouting it. Like I was so angry. And my mum just leant across to me and she just went, do you want to go? We can go if you want. And me being like, no, we'll stay. It's fine. We'll just have a drink and relax. But that day I cannot describe. That was the angriest I've ever been in football. And I don't know how. I was furious. That's the angriest I've ever been in a game. That one was awful. I don't know why. It just sent me for a loop. Shouldn't have, but still. Mate, listen, if DeVito was there, Devo, however you want to pronounce it, I don't know. I'm going to say Devo, if he was there, I'll tell you what, they would have been in trouble. We would have been, like, it would have been like twins, mate. We would have come out of it. I'm Arnie, he's Danny. Obviously, we come in, just batter it. But yeah, no, didn't do that. He wasn't there. It was just me and my mum. And my mum's not exactly going to turn over a pub. You know what I mean? It's not our vibe. It's not mine either. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's mine. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's mine. Ben Johnson does okay against McTominay, just manages to stop it. But again, it's just their wide players are so high that when it comes to our fullbacks, we just have no option but to just hook it forward. They're pressing really well, Brighton. They're pressing really well. I'm starting to change my mind over the fact that they're not playing significantly better than us. I'm still not saying they're not playing unreal, but they're pressing really well and just creating any sort of lack of opportunities whatsoever. But 30 seconds left of the game. Well, that was awful from Steele. That is awful. 30 seconds left of the first half. Now 20 seconds. And it's still 1-0 to Brighton. We've got nothing. We actually have genuinely nothing. We actually have genuinely nothing. Again, I can't say I didn't expect it. I've been calling it for several days that this would happen. I can't say I wasn't expecting it because I was. There is the halftime whistle. It's 1-0 to Brighton at halftime. I can't say I'm shocked at all. In fact, to be honest with you, I was very certain this was going to happen. Brighton having just a very, very large amount of possession. Us having a very, very small amount of opportunities because of it. 75% possession from Brighton in that half. I can show you now. Thank you to who scored, by the way. 75% possession from Brighton. Again, it's obvious you like. And when you think about it, when you look at the stat, when you break it down, they've only had 4 shots compared to our 3, right? But this number is just, it allows them to do so much that we're just completely incapable of doing because of it. And it just is. But again, I can't act like I'm shocked. Gio, are you shocked, that is?
What, the possession?
Or just of anything?
Not the possession. This is what Brighton do. I mean, I said in the build-up, I said it'll be 70-30 in Brighton's favour. Okay, it's a bit worse than that, but this is what they do. We're playing crap. Let's be honest with you. We're playing absolutely dreadful. A lot of the players are playing rubbish themselves. I think the only thing that I'm frustrated about tactically is our lack of plan for pressing Brighton. At times, 1 or 2 players are pressing, and they're just passing through us. You have to either do it as a team or sit back as a team. But to do in the middle is a very dangerous thing. And, you know, their penalty comes from them beating our press. They start passing it around the midfield and getting out to march, and it's not good enough, really. I knew we weren't going to have much of the ball, but I thought we'd be a bit better than this on it. It's a shit show when we've got it. We've done nothing with it. We've had one chance. Bowen should have scored it. There's no doubt about it. Bowen should be scoring that. Antonio got a lot of stick, and rightly so, for Wednesday night. That's a better chance, that one, for Jared Bowen. He's got more time. He's more central. He's got more of the goal to aim at. I think Bowen should be putting that one away. It's a really good chance. So that's disappointing, but it's not really good enough. I think we're struggling to contain them. We don't really have too much of a plan. Frustrating.
Yeah, I couldn't have. Look, it was obvious. It was obvious that the possession was going to be incredibly low. I mean,
and that's okay as long as you know what you're doing out of possession, so that they're not. As long as it's sort of passing for passing's sake. And Brighton are a very patient side. They don't mind just knocking about between the centre backs. But the problem is they're getting between our midfield quite easily. They're getting out wide really easily, especially down our left hand side. Benrahma and Emerson is horrendous trying to watch them defend Veltman and Solly March. They just don't have a scooby what to do. Emerson's actually going from one to the other because Benrahma just sort of stood there. Going forward, we've had the opportunity to spring a couple of counter-attacks. Either passes been poor, the runs have been poor, or just too slow.
Yeah, but I think the thing is we're going to encourage them to go wide because it's sort of okay with that. And there's not like a huge amount of danger in it until when they hit a quick switch, like they did for the penalty, for example. And then we just have to, because the thing is, they can take as long as they want, because realistically, that will allow us to set up, right? But like you say, it's when we get the ball, we just have nothing. Like they've been pressing relatively well. They they cut out the passes relatively well. But if you're looking at especially that first section of the game, they were giving the ball away left, right, and centre, and we didn't really do anything with it. Like you say, there was the Jared Bowen chance. There was the one straight after that. I don't know, there really wasn't that much else part of that. And they were literally passing us the ball.
No, I mean, we just had Emerson breaking there, and he literally had to put the brakes on. there was no one. I mean, Ben Rama makes a good run, and in fairness, and Webster sort of sees him and drops back and cuts off the pass. So Emerson can't really give it to Ben Rama. It's good defending by Webster. Meanwhile, Dunk sort of got a handle of Danny Ings in the middle of the box. But that's it. You know, in the end, Emerson's actually had to play off and try and get the corner. And, well, we're rubbish at them as well, which doesn't help. But it's just frustrating. And the worst thing is I'm looking at the bench. I'm not really sure what we can do to change it. I'm not really looking at that bench thinking, oh, we can bring on him because that'll sort that out. I'm not really... There's not one... Sometimes, often enough, maybe one player that's getting exposed for whatever reason up against a good player who's having a poor game. Jared Bowen's having a poor game, for example, but you wouldn't take him off because defensively he's playing poor. But we don't have that, actually. Not one person's getting ripped to shreds. Ben Johnson's really struggling out there, but we don't have a right back on the bench, so we can't really change that. The only thing Moyes might consider to do is go to a back three, or in this case, it would be a back five. And I hope we don't see that, because that's just surrendering the pitch. We've already surrendered possession. I don't want to surrender territory as well. At least at times when Brighton have got it, we are sitting in like a 4-1-4-1 formation where Rice is sitting behind his midfield and they're in a straight line. You can see it. You can see Benrahma, Paqueta, Souček and Jared Bowen right across the middle of the pitch with Declan Rice sitting, just keeping an eye on like some McAllister or Matoma trying to break through. The one big positive from the first half, Charlie, is that it's only 1-0.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I shall be back in a moment. Good luck. Chat, don't be too negative. I can't say that.
It's all right. Cheers, Charlie. Right, I'm going to chat to the chat. Let's see what you're all saying. Bertie said Sky had said we've got 79 passes to the 300. Hoof it up seems to be the strategy. It's special says we may as well go 4-4-2. Bring Skamaka on, throw the kitchen sink. We're already 1-0 down. Personally, you take off Bowen for finals. Worst half I've seen, embarrassing. But yeah, Bowen's having a stinker, and he did poorly when he came on against Man United as well. Ironic said Bowen only had to place that ball anywhere, not hit it straight at the keeper, and we had a goal. No composure whatsoever. It was frustrating. It was really frustrating. It was a really good chance. Daniel saying Ashby could have been better than Johnson. No one can persuade him. Nick said he's not watching the game, but Moyes doesn't make 3 subs. What's the point? Courtney Boyce and Matoma's playing like Prime Messi. Johnson's playing like a League One player. Garino says get Skamaka on to hold the ball up and get some shots in. Dan says Paqueta's defending is awful for that solid mark. Oh, that was dreadful, weren't it? He literally just puts his heel out behind him and says, oh, there's my half-hearted attempt. But it's to all of them. It's Emerson. We're letting him cut in. Benrahma stood just watching. Paqueta's a pissy excuse of an attempt to tackle him. Ogbonna's slow. Oh, that defense. I forgot about that Solly March chance, Dan. Oh, Jesus. It's dreadful. Gar says Moyes has to shake off his tactical paralysis and earn his money. Richard said you look at Brighton and you realise how poor our recruitment is. Guy said definitely a penalty, bad positional play by Bowen. What was Johnson doing at penalty? I don't think anyone's disputing the pen, to be fair. I'd be surprised if anybody is. Will says Souček's the only player trying to do something. Mancunian said that they had a centre forward would be. That's harsh. I think Ferguson's a good player. I do. I think Ferguson's a good player. I think we're sitting quite deep. Swad says formation's fine. Our execution when ball. See, I'm a bit like that. We knew they were going to have 70%. I mean, 75 is worse, but we knew they were going to have 70% possession. Brighton. And to some extent, I'm okay with that as long as we have a plan for when we have that 30%, we do something with it. And we've done nothing with it. Well, we've had that big chance for Jared Bowen, but apart from that, we've done nothing. The last 10 minutes, we're just booting the ball away. You can see Johnson walloping. Paqueta's throwing his arms at Johnson, saying, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? There was one point he belted it earlier, and Declan Rice was a bit like, why you do it? Just calm down. But I think Johnson's a little bit shaken up because of his error leading to the penalty. He'll know that that's his fault. Andy is not angry. He's embarrassed. Breezy says it's a performance of a team that either don't know we're in a relegation battle or they don't care. Woody says it's not just poor, it's really boring. Gary says for player ratings include negative numbers. 0 is as low as we go. Bra says midfield's a disgrace, nowhere near Casiado. Doug says Johnson's been awful. Muddy says the only tactic you can see is nick the ball and give it straight back. The one thing I will say is it's just Jens is saying I bet all week Moy's been drilling the players on how to play so Brighton don't score as opposed to how we can hurt them. Charlie says Bowen gave away a penalty, made a lazy pass, and then pitched a chance at goal in 4 minutes. It was pretty terrible, weren't it? Spencer says I don't get why we have to accept such low possession. It's not. In fairness, I know it's a continuous thing. At the minute, we do have very small percentages, quite a lot, but I think Brighton usually have the majority of possession regardless of who they're playing. I'm sure, I could be wrong on this, and if I am, it won't be by much. I am certain that since De Zerbi's coming at Brighton, from that point on, Brighton have had the highest amount of possession on average per game. So it's not like this is a one-off for Brighton or us, unfortunately. This is a continuous thing. I think pressing wise, I think we're all over the shop. I know I've seen some people praise it. I'm not too sure. And someone said their Souček's the only one pressing. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. If we've only got one player pressing against Brighton, that's incredibly dangerous. And I agree with them. I think at times we only have one player pushing up, but that just creates a space. That's what they want. Duncan, Webster want one of your centre midfielders to go and chase them so that frees up Pascal Gross or Casiedo so they can give it to him. And then your whole midfield has to move around, and that ends up freeing up McAllister or Matoma because everybody else is now out of position. And I think watching our pressing game just concerns me a lot. I had huge concerns because this is how Brighton set traps. They say, "Here's our centre back. Does anyone want it?" They want you to go get it. And I think you've either got two options: either you sit back and you stay disciplined and say, "No, you're all right, Dunk. You can have it. We're going to stay here," or you press as a team, your whole team know what you're doing, you go man to man, you be brave. And I don't really think we're doing either today. And that's what's the most frustrating thing for me. It's too easy for Brighton at times. They're just playing through the middle of the pitch and then they're crossing the ball out to Matoma or Solly March or doubling up on Emerson. It's not working. Emerson and Ben Rama defensively, I don't think it's working. There's too many holes all over the pitch. And this is where my frustration is, because like I said, if one player is playing poorly, if Johnson was getting ripped by Matoma and everybody else was fine, that's fine. You sort out the right back, but it's not. The right back's a problematic area. I don't think our left side's playing very well. In possession, we're really poor. It's just a dreadful half, in all honesty. That first half was so dreadful. Hammers, we pressed so well against Man U, performing like this. But honestly, I'm not just saying this. I think Brighton are just better at Man United in regards to how they play with the ball at the back. I'm not saying Brighton are a better team or anything before someone takes out of context, but I think Brighton are just better. They have a game plan. Epic says, clear as day, the players are trying to get Moyes sacked, and I can't blame them. I'm not sure about that. I think that's a bit extreme, but it's difficult to argue at this point, based on what we've seen in the first half. I'm not going to make any arguments. It's been dreadful. Alan says, dinosaur owners, dinosaur manager, Brighton have a vision and style, all wrong. Will says, from kickoff, didn't think it looked like the players were up for it. Sloppy in possession, static defensively. Players need to liven up, maybe get Skamaka on and play two up front. Johnny said he's fed up of hearing the commentators say they're getting the ball straight back. We've definitely been doing that quite often. It's just panic. It's just the way we're booting it. Yes, this Mancunian says the ball's like a hot potato. We're just booting it, and it's so frustrating. There's been at times where we didn't need to do it. You could, the person doing the clearance could have taken a touch, had a couple of seconds, but they just belted it. And at one point, the one time we did try and show composure was Declan Rice and Ben Johnson in the corner. Johnson ended up on the touchline getting challenged because there was nowhere to play the ball. Home Dinner says, sadly, Moyes will carry on the same way until we ship the second. It will be too late to get anything at the game. Same old story. The worst thing is I can see it. Gav, honestly, I'm certain that's the stat, but that stat was like a couple of weeks ago. There's been a couple of games since then, so it might have changed, but there won't be much in it because since De Zerbi came in, again, this stat's a couple of weeks old now, but it could still be relevant. Lewis Duncan played the most passes in the Premier League out of anybody, including Rodri of Man City. Rodri's got the most touches in the Premier League this season. But since De Zerbi come in, so obviously we're talking post-Graham Potter, Lewis Dunk done the most amount of passes. Our bet today, we've got Lewis Dunk, right, to do 90 passes. He's been hitting about 140 a game recently. Let me just check now. He's done 66, so he's literally nearly 66 out of 90. We need him to do another 24 passes for that part of the bet to come in. The bet's got a really good chance of winning, by the way. If you've commented in the live chat, you are entered. We needed a Bowen shot target. That's happened. We needed a McAllister shot target. That's happened, unfortunately. We needed Lewis Dunk 90 passes attempted. He's done 66, so it's going to fly in as long as he plays 90 minutes. We need Paqueta to do 2 fouls. He's done 1. And we need Ben Johnson to do 2 fouls. He hasn't done any, but he's got ripped apart. So the bet's got a chance. £150 cash for somebody if that wins.
Would you imagine it probably will? Gio, final thoughts as the teams come back out?
We need a rocket up our arse and a better game plan for the second half. Players need to step up. While Moyes, I think, has got a few things wrong. The players aren't playing well enough for me. There's too many poor decisions on the pitch. This midfield three's worked well the last couple of games. It's not worked today at all. We can still get something out of this. I just don't think we will. Brighton are too good, and De Zerbi is a much better manager than David Moyes, and I think Moyes just got ripped apart in 45 minutes there. But we're still in this. Like I said, I wasn't taking a piss. Genuinely, the biggest positive at half-time is it's only 1-0. We need to do something for the second half. And, Scamacca coming on, I can see why people want to see that. I'd quite like to see that as well. So I'm going to say we lose, Charlie. But there's still a chance, but a small one.
Fair. Well, I enjoy seeing your review later, Gio. I anticipate it. And you should too, because it's coming up in just 45 minutes. But between now and then, we, of course, have the rest of this game, the second half. Yes, he has been subbed off. He has come off, and Pablo Fornals has come on, Connor. It's a thing. It's a thing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely shocked. I understand. See, here's the thing. Here's what I'd say about that situation. There's 2 ways to look at it, right? By the way, Brighton currently literally standing still on the ball. Just in case you're wondering where our press is, it doesn't exist. The thing is about taking Ben Rama off for 4 hours. Obviously, you want someone who's going to create something. So keeping Ben Rama on the pitch makes sense, right? The other way to look at it is you also need to get to the ball, and he's not going to get to the ball. And so if you want to get the ball, you sort of have to get someone who's going to do that. And as Gio said, it's not like he's defended anywhere near well enough. It's a bit ridiculous because, again, you need someone to create at the other end. And Said Benrahma is one of the few people in this team who will do that. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I think, obviously, the person to take off would have been Jared Bowen. He's been all over the shop today. And I think when Moyes looks at it, he goes, Bowen might have to come off because he's just gone down looking looking highly in pain. In that situation, you look at it and you say, well, or David Moyes has looked at it and gone, which one of the 2 players, Bowen or Benrahma, do I trust to create something or to score at the other end? He's clearly decided that's Jared Bowen, despite the fact he's having an awful game. So, I don't know, man. Bowen back up. It's going to be a free kick to West Ham, right by our own half. It was a minor mistake. Just guy walks into Jared Bowen, steps on his toes. It is what it is. If the chat call for it, the chat call for it. It's up to them. But yeah, I do. There are two. I was looking, obviously, people were talking about the Brighton out-possessioning Manchester City and all that this season, which is very true. If you look at through Manchester City's fixtures, the only team to have more possession than them in any game is Brighton, which shows you what their possession is all about. Played forward there by Brighton, instantly cut out well by Emerson, takes it forward, finds Fornals into the path of Danny Ings, who tried to flick it on, doesn't quite work. It's going to be a throw-in. Going to be a throwing. I'm seeing a couple of shots of bells. Double bell time, surely. I mean, we could hit one. Double sounds mad. I should have got one at half time. I knew this was coming and I flopped. I should have got it at half time. Scott, my G, call me Betty. It's the God show. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good day. Wrong as per usual, but I take it. There have been enough calls for bells. I'm putting the poll in chat. I'm putting the poll in chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you think we should bell, hit yes. If you think it's too early, if you're not vibing it, if you think it's a waste, whatever your reasons are, say no. Hit from range from Brighton. McAllister manages to find his way just inside the area, pings it. So it's very much not from range, Charlie. I don't know what you're saying. Matoma coming in from the left-hand side, finds McAllister, who just... Everyone steps the hell off. Ogbonna just lets him go. Again, desperately trying to find his positioning. And he just blasts it high and wide. You have until 50 and a half-ish. 50 and a half-ish. Poor Brighton are also pressing better than us. You know, if we don't have possession of the ball, that's fine. And you want to pick and choose when you press, that's fine. But Brighton are also pressing a lot better than us. That's a nice ball straight into the path of Ferguson. Good cut out there from Aged. Good block. Johnson. Again, they swarm you and they give you no options. This is exactly what we do usually. They swarm you to give you no options and then you just have to punt it long. Ben Johnson on the ball there. And don't get me wrong, he dawdles ever so slightly with it, but there's no option for him to pass at all. So he just has to boot it forward. And guess what? They regain possession of the ball and they're incredibly comfortable on it. Incredibly comfortable on it. Later, all that's dodgy. Jarrod Bowen almost managed to step his way in and can't quite do it. And Caicedo passes it forward. West Ham have overcommitted here. Brighton come flying forward. The ball is with Alexis McAllister. He has Ferguson just to his left. He has Veltman on his right. Or Solly March potentially. March plays it in. Hooked away from Wolf. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Cut out, thankfully. Alexis McAllister came flying forward there. He lays it out to Solly March. Emerson doesn't get really close enough to him. And it's played in. It deflects off him. And Alexis McAllister just tries to flick it with his back heel there. Back of his right heel. And again, gets the block. Thankfully, it's going to be a corner. But bloody hell, that was a worrying counter-attack, wasn't it? I've seen a lot of people shouting, "I am angry," and Johnson in the chat. It's whipped in from the corner. Oh, well, that'll be why then. It's 2-0. That'll be why it's 2-0. Oh, what a fun stat that was, I just heard from the commentator. That's the first time a Brighton player has scored from a corner. It's 2. It's 2-0. It's 2-0. Veltman with a goal. Whipped in. Veltman. You've heard of defending. Well, not West Ham. That was awful. That was by far maybe the worst defending from a set piece I've ever seen. And that's not being hyperbolic. You lot know me, right? You know I'm a calm guy. You know I don't tend to be hyperbolic. That was probably the worst defending I've ever seen from a corner. Everyone just bundles. Where was the... I don't understand. We zonal mark. The bell pole pass, by the way, is 65%. I'll get on that in a sec. We zonal mark, and Veltman was stood with not a single person even remotely close to him. I can't. Everyone just clusters at the near post for some reason. I don't know why. And there's no real connection. There's a deflection on the cross coming in. Brighton save from Mariola. And Veltman's just stood there. He's in his own postcode. I can't. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rerun the bell pot. I'll tell you why. Because I've just seen 4 people in a row say like don't waste it, basically. So I'm gonna rerun the bell poll. We'll only do it for like a minute, and we'll just see. We'll just see if the mood has changed slightly. Because obviously they've scored as we were running now. I'll give it a minute. So at 54 and a half minutes, we'll stop it. Just to see if the mood has changed. That is incredible. That's awful. Matoma, nice through ball to Ferguson. Oh, not even to Ferguson, sorry, to Solly March. Estupinian. Bro, they have so much space. We're literally pointless. We should have changed. I'm not going to say anything, but they have so much space. That was incredible. That was by far the worst. That was such unreal. That was so bad. That was so bad. Played in, cleared away. We eat baby bells for luck, Alex. It's a long story, which I'll explain at some point when we're not all in a really bad mood and we're not playing awfully. For luck, we eat baby bells, but the chat has to decide if we're going to eat baby bells or not. That's what it is. So, yeah. Someone goes down. Thomas Suchek's going to be in trouble here. They're all screaming off. It's a yellow card. The poll ends. That's incredible. Oh, it was nasty from Thomas Suchek. The poll ends, and I'm not kidding you. Just dives in on it. Oh, that's... Oof. He gets a yellow. It's a definite yellow. It's a 1,000% yellow from Thomas Suchek. By the way, substitutions probably could happen at some point. The poll ended, and I'm not going to lie, I should have let it run slightly longer. Because as I clicked end, it was like 51% no. And then as I clicked it, it changed to 50-50. So it didn't pass. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait it out. If people want to rerun it at some point in the next sort of 10 minutes, we will. But as it didn't pass, I'll have to say no, but it did literally end 50-50. Which is mad. There was 100 votes on it in that quick amount of time, and there were 50 said yes and 50 said no. So we're going to leave it to go. But yeah, we're now passing it around amongst ourselves at the back. Brighton are all over us. This game's done. There's no point anymore, you know. Oh, Dean, I saw your message in chat right as I went away about the new ISO mix. Hype. Let's go. I wish I was playing Power Wash Simulator. Instead, we've got another 35 minutes of this to go, guys. We're gonna get back into it. Yes. Jared Bowen instantly tackled from Estupinian. Oh, that's an awful pass though from Brighton. And Pablo Fornals charges in. That's a really nice ball outside. Pablo Fornals is such a good footballer, man. Beautiful outside the boot pass out to Emerson on the left. Lays it short. Fornals short to Declan Rice, who looked like he was winding up for a shot as if that was ever going to go in. And now Brighton come flying forward. And I'm not going to lie, Declan Rice, he's not sprinting back. Pablo Fornals is though. And thankfully, Nathan Agard gets the block. Bournemouth are 2-0 up. Impressive. Fair play to Bournemouth. Let's just talk amongst ourselves, shall it frustrates me. The fact he was jogging was just so annoying. You give away the ball and then yeah. Fair play to Bournemouth. You know, they're probably going down, but fair play to them. At this point, I'm not fussed about spoilers, so I'm just fully reading absolutely everything in the chat. People shouting pen. Not a pen. Wow. I'm sure we'll see this in a second. This is ass, says Alec. You're not wrong. Ball over the top. Danny Ings can't quite get it. He claps the attempt. Chuck says, not sure if Rice is very interested. Yeah, I mean, he never really sprints back, though. It's one of my biggest problems I've had with him. Bowen flicks it in for Danny Ings. Oh, and then Bowen goes down. The decision goes Brighton's way. And he gets a yellow card for a dive in the midst of it all. Well, obviously, one of my big problems with Declan Rice is he never tracks back very well from those sort of situations. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Flicked on from Jared Bowen into the path of Danny Ings. There's an initial handball potentially, but doesn't give it. not sure about that one. I'm not going to lie. Usually, I don't think he dived. Look, I think there's a touch, and I don't think it's a pen. I will say this. I don't think it's a pen. I don't know. It's the fact he gets back up straight after. Declan Rice gets a yellow card. The most Mark Noble thing he's done in a while there, Declan Rice. He's learnt from Mark there, you know? When things go bad, just start hacking people down. When things go bad, just absolutely go for it. It's the lightest touch. You reckon? I'm not saying... I think there's a touch. I'm not saying it's a pen. That was needless from Declan Rice. I'm not saying it's a... It's just petulant from Declan, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying it's a pen, but I don't think it's a dive, is what I'll say. But I don't think it's a pen. I'll say that much. I think he's harsh on the yellow card on that one. Whipped in. Oh my god, that should be 3. That should be 3. I don't know who it was who gets that block. I think it's Emerson. Fair play to him, but flipping hell. Played out wide to Emerson. Yeah, it was Emerson. How the hell he's managed to stop that from going in? That should have been 3. That really should have been 3. Brighton playing it quickly. Whipped in across the box in the centre of the... Basically in the 6-yard box in the centre. There's a Brighton player in there as it whips across and it's landing directly at his feet. But somehow Emerson manages to hook it back. I'm not entirely certain how. Was the Brighton pen harsh? Nah, I think it was deserved. I think Jared Bowen just gets on the wrong side of him. I think if Jared Bowen was 2 or 3 steps forward, I would have counted it as 50-50 because he goes in for a 50-50 challenge. The problem is Mitoma's 2 steps ahead of him. And so instead of going shoulder to shoulder 50-50, he basically barges him in the back and then there's a bit of legs get tangled up as a bit gone. Would I call it harsh? No, I think it was a fair pen, but I think it's clumsiness from Jared Bowen more than it is anything else. And in that sort of position, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, Danny Kaka should probably cover his eyes. Don't look, Danny. Don't look, mate. It's not fun. It's not good. It's not good, mate. Don't look. He's shocked. He's shocked and appalled. Look at him. Doesn't know what to do with himself. Look at him. Hello. Sorry, just moving things around now on OBS. Whipped in from Brighton, hook it across, and Ogbonna gets the block. And the commentators, as they're commentating it, have that tone of, this is over, Brighton are going to score again. Like, the way he said that, Emerson, how does Emerson manage to stop that? Fair play, Emerson. It's hit across from Solly March into such a central position. I'll be honest with you, Ferguson, stick your foot out, mate. That's going in. But yeah, the commentators have that tone where they were like, Mitoma was about to hook the ball across and he went, Mitoma, as if like he's about to say, and it's 3. You know, it just felt like that was the next line. Oh, Bonner's down. That's not great to see. Yeah, it just felt like it was next line, although I guess it was Kurt Zuma's on the bench. Maybe now's the time, but still. Yeah, not great. Not great when that's the vibe you're going with. I've just seen the goal again. Oh my god, that is maybe... I can't stress how... I mean, look, I'm not going to act like Ben Johnson isn't at fault, right? Because Ben Johnson is horrendously at fault for that goal. What was he doing? I can't figure it out. Like, he's just stood there. There is not a single head empty. Just stand. You know? What are you doing? Just zonal marking things. I don't understand. I can't explain it. Anyway, Ogbonna's coming off and Zuma looks like he's going to come on. Well, it looks like it anyway. think the medical team looked like they just said that he might stay on. Zuma is ready to come on. But Ogbona's going to come back on, which means you don't have an extra person at a corner. One of the coaches, I don't know who it was, just got very frustrated at that. Whipped in, headed away from Emerson. Not very well. Matoma wants to get in there, collected from Areola, who throws it out quickly. That's nice by Areola. Go, Declan, go. Go, Declan. Go, Declan, go. Go. Go, Declan, go. Go. He didn't go. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know that we're going to see a sub. It looks like it's going to be Kurt Zuma on for Ogbonna in what can only be described as a game changer. Just drinking a hot chocolate at this point, isn't it? That's essentially what this is at this point. Like the video if you want, you know. I might as well just change the title to Sad Boy Drinks Hot Chocolate. What a 2.5 hour live stream that was. What's the point? What is actually the point? You know? You have to ask yourself sometimes. I do. Right, when you're in these situations and you're sat here and this is all kicking off. It's just like, how do we, what do we do? What's the point? You know? Is there any point? Feels like no is the answer. Feels like no is the answer. Brighton just quite easily and quite calmly passing the ball around, as you would expect. Just moving the arm ever so slowly out of the way. Not that anything's going to happen in that little corner of the pitch, but you know. Dip a baby bell in hot chocolate. Let's just... That is maybe a bit too far, even for me. Declan Rice kicks that one off the pitch. Good to see he's thinking straight. Wake up, bro. Don't just stand there shaking your head like, oh, what am I going to do? Blood, you got the ball and you hit it first time with your left foot to who? No one. No one was going to be there. What was your idea there? Like, you can't just sit there being like, Brighton shoot over the top of the bar. You can't just sit there and be like, oh. It's like, what's your plan then? Who are you passing to? What did you think was going to happen? I can't take it when people stand there like, what were you expecting, bro? Who did you think Neymar was going to pop up there all of a sudden? Just whatever, man. Yeah, a little bit. What's the actual point? Thank you, Edgar Allan Bro. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Quote the Raven and all that. You know, I mean, thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. I mean, at least we can have a bit more fun, I guess, while it happens. But my lord, itchy nose. Itchy nose. Played out wide to Estupinian, coming flying forward. Can't quite get there. It's going to be a throw. One of the Brighton players is down. I think Zuma's coming on. Good hot chocolate. Good hot chocolate. Zuma is coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Gonna change the whole game for us. Let's go. I assume he's going to come on for Ogbonna. Solly March is down still. I hope he's okay. I mean, I look, there's no changes are going to happen, are they? Really? This one. I've just looked at the chat. I'm seeing a lot of the words 3-0, but at the same time, this is a really easy game to troll and say 3. But I am seeing a lot of 3-0. Okay, I trust it now. Stuart said it. So it's definitely 3. Could you know? Whatever, man. Whatever. I can see Charlie saying it as well. Whatever, man. Whatever. What it is. Look, who cares? Who actually cares? Kurt Zuma back to Areola, who just sort of punts it forward. There's no options for him. They instantly regain possession of the ball with Veltman, plays it in. That's a nice touch around the back. Finds March, who cuts Cuts in, cuts out, played across, easy, Matoma, it's 3. Cheers, Steve. Yeah, I'm alright, mate. How are you? I hope you're well. Looking forward to Revolution. It's all I'm really thinking about at this point. It's all I'm really thinking about at this point. Matoma gets the goal. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 3. It's West Ham United 0. And just in case you thought some big game-changing subs were on the way, know what I mean? It's 3-0. Let's go. What's the possession stats now? Feels like maybe we have a bit more at the moment. Let's have a look. What are we at? Oh, we do. Look at that. We have a little bit better. We're only at 70. We're only at 30% possession now. You love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it. Game's over. So what do you... Depends how I'm feeling. The classic order, which is a bit mad, is chicken, bacon, sweet corn, and ketchup. Bless me, and ketchup in a high Italian toasted, which seems insane, but it is honestly incredibly nice. But yeah, chicken breast, chicken and bacon. Sometimes if they have that sort of version, there's a couple of different things, you know. There's a couple of different ones. But yeah, sometimes I'll just put a load of rats. Sometimes I'll get like a chicken or whatever, or a turkey or whatever. And then I'll just put like red onions, lettuce, sweet corn, just loads of nice salad in there. I'm very hungry. Yeah, it felt obvious to me, but, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Look. Life is the way it is. I know it sounds horrendous, but trust me, it's incredible. What's everyone else's Subway order? Give me some Subway orders, do you know what I mean? I might order Subway. I'm very hungry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To be fair... Flippin' Peach had it, and Peach said it was great, and Peach was a man who had opinions on food, so I trust Peach's opinion on food. He had it, and he said it banged as well, so there we go. No, he's still there. You wouldn't be able to tell. It's not like we're making any substitutions or anything's changing. We're literally just stood completely still, hoping that something is going to change. But he is there, apparently, somehow. Somehow. He is there. Brighton passing the ball around. At this point, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? I might as well, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna get comfy. Because there's not really any point in trying to maintain some level of professionalism at this point. So I might as well just get comfortable, relax, you know? Never had a Nando's or a Subway. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'd only had a Nando's for the first time a couple of years ago, which is probably a little bit wild for me. It's decent, but Subway's mad for me. Subway, you gotta get involved with Subways. This is why I wish I had a wireless mouse where I could just, you know. It's 6 still. Stress. It might as well be. There's literally no point. We got what? 18 minutes plus stoppage time to go. So 20 minutes, 21, whatever. Might as well be. Meatballs all day long. Fair. The thing is, he definitely isn't. Vibes. Meatballs all like I've never had a meatball, you know. I've never had a meatball sub. I feel like it's something I would love, but I've never tried it. I should try it at some point. Chicken and bacon on a hearty Italian, jalapeno peppers, lettuce, onion, mayo. Ooh, manic. Yes, big. Meatball all the way again. Yes, big players. It's a shout, Sean. I would be fine with that. Let's just do literally anything other than what we're doing right now, which is a grand total of nothing. He has seen the situation, and he's gone, nah, I'm not going to change this. Oh, because it's working so well, is it? This is my biggest problem with it. This has always been my biggest problem with him, among other things. This has always been... Oh, Stuart, yes. This has always been my biggest problem with him. bro, just change, just do something different, you know? Don't spam in chat, by the way. Just do something different. In this specific scenario, where it's gone completely and utterly wrong, which is fine. Sometimes these things happen. If you're having a bad game, sometimes these things happen, right? Whatever. Let's just act like for a split second that it was somehow an abnormality that this has happened, right? It's not, and we all know it's not. But let's just imagine for a split second that this is an abnormality. Change it, maybe? Like, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people. There's a bench full of players. I mean, we've got 2 youth goalkeepers for some godforsaken reason. But Lanzini's there, Downs is there, Skamaka's there. These are people you could bring on to do something with if you really wanted to. But no. We're 3-0 down. Let's just sub a defender for a defender when he gets injured and then just leave it for the vibes for the rest of the game. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Surely you do literally anything. Anyway, Ryan with the £2. Thank you very much. Very attractive. Very kind of you, Ryan. Wrong, but I'll take it. Ooh, Lanzini and Downs are coming on, ladies and gentlemen. He's woken up. Brighton making more substitutions as this happens, just in case you're keeping count. Paqueta and Souček off for Downs and Lanzini. Because like for like's going to work, innit? That's really going to work. Oh, I can't wait to score 3 in the final 15 minutes of this game. What can you do? Ryan, thank you very much, by the way. That's very kind of you. You didn't have to do that at all. With the compliment as well. Very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you. Solly March and Estupinian coming off as well for Brighton. For Welbeck and 18-year-old Buonanotte, who I've never heard of, but you might as well bring the youth players on if you're Brighton at this point and just have some fun. Cold. It's a good question, Ray. Ray, by the way, you're around tomorrow. We've gone up. That's how you know Brighton have given up. We're currently on 31% possession because Brighton are no longer trying. Yeah, a little bit. Because Brighton are no longer trying, so it's 31%. By the way, okay, sweet. Then tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, at some point on patreon.com/HammersChat will be 2 Spanners, 1 Hammer, a HammersChat Patreon exclusive podcast made just for you. I'm assuming it's going to be a vibe, but we'll be doing that tomorrow. Don't know who with. I'll figure that out, who the guest will be, but myself and Ray will be live with someone else at some point tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Get all this nonsense off my chest. And I'm not talking about the duvet. Mate, do you remember when everyone was eating Tide Pods for a while? That was a vibe, wasn't it? What a time to be alive that was, when everyone just went into Tide Pod mode. Everyone just went crazy about Tide Pods. People were like, yeah, you just got to eat them. The internet, man, you know? The internet. We will both not be naked. Aged finds Zuma. Rice to Johnson to Rice to Fornals. Ladies and gentlemen, we've progressed up the pitch 4 yards so far. Here we go. Here it comes. We're going forward. Lanzini into Bowen, who somehow is still on the football pitch. To Johnson, who is somehow still on the football pitch. It's a shame for Johnson because I think he's played really well recently, but he's had an awful game today. Him and Bowen, that right side has just been pointless. In case you're wondering how much possession and how much progression up the pitch we've made, we are about where we were when I last mentioned it. You know? Try not to spam this, Damien. But I disagree with you. I'll be honest with you. I disagree with you. I don't disagree with you saying he hasn't got the pace or the strength, because I agree with you. He's not the fastest and he's not the strongest. I would agree with that. What I would say is that you need to find the space for him to move into. You need to support people. You have to have people around him to create space, and then he can find gaps. That's what he's good at. We saw it in his goals in the 4-0 win. That feels like a lifetime ago. That's the point. Is anyone in here a patron? Is anyone watching this right now who's a patron who wants to come on Two Spanners, One Hammer tomorrow with myself and Ray? If you are, make yourself known, and I would love to have you on. I'd love to have you on. If there's any patrons in chat, do shout out. But yeah, it's not that you can do that. It's just you can't have him be the only person doing that. And right now, he's the only person doing that. So it's just kind of pointless, right? Fair enough. Thank you for being a patron, James. That's very kind of you. Mike, my G, you're coming on. Mike will be the guest tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, I'm going to message you on Patreon right now. Might as well. There's not much points or anything else. Oh, Brighton player down in the box. Belmonte, or whatever his name was, I can't remember, goes down. And referee says no. Referee says it's ours and not theirs. Welbeck is a really nice through ball from Welbeck. Yeah, he's a bit tangled amongst Emerson, but it's definitely not. I personally, I don't think that's a pen. That's my personal opinion, not a pen. Welbeck hits it, looking for that top corner. Can't quite find it. I thought he was right. Well, you know. He's not, is he? He's not. He's playing for Brighton. He's doing quite well. To be fair, he's sort of rekindled some sort of existence in football. The fact he's played at the top level for this long is respectable. You got to respect it. Thought it was a pen, to be fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. You know, I should say, like, obviously, patreon.com is a thing you can subscribe to if you want to. It helps us out massively. It's essentially a third Hammers Chat channel, right? We put on loads of stuff every week. There are loads of extra videos every week that you can get involved with. I'm a couple of them. Gio does a bunch. Gonz does a bunch. You know, we put other things up there. We have audio versions. We have giveaways, all that sort of stuff. But there is genuinely no pressure at all. There is no pressure at all to come on to give money into the Patreon at all. So don't worry about it. It's no stress. It's no stress whatsoever. Mike, I'm messaging you on Patreon right now, my friend. Oh. Big sign. We can actually have a conversation. Matoma down the left, whips it into a really good spot. No one from Brighton can get on the end of it. Hooked away. They maintain possession of the ball. Thank you. Caicedo just gets on the ball and hits it. He's been crap today. The fact they've had Caicedo in the middle of the pitch, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's been very good. And yet somehow it's still happening. I don't know. Just in case you're keeping count, Brighton's still making more subs, by the way. There you go, Mike. You've got a message in your Patreon DMs. This has been my point, right? I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with I've spoken to James on E20 quite a bit about it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Where James, for example, doesn't like the 3/5 at the back. He says it's too defensive, and that's something that I see a lot of people talking about online, right? The idea that we shouldn't be playing 3/5 because it's too defensive, too many defenders, all this other sort of stuff. The truth of the matter is, it really does not matter what formation. We will always be defensive because it's David Moyes. It's just how he plays football, right? So you've got to pick and choose your poison, really. And so it's just about what tactic happens around that gives you the best chance of winning. And today we've picked the wrong one very clearly. But I think, I don't think it matters whether you're playing 5. I don't think whether you're counting 4. You're just not You're just not going to get it. You're just not going to get it because he will always defend. I strongly agree with you. He will always defend. Oh, good save from Areola. And Ciso, however you pronounce his name, I've never heard of him before. I don't know anything about him. Picks up the ball about 25 yards away from goal. 20 yards away from goal, something like that. I don't know exactly how far, but a fair old whack away from goal. Dribbles just outside the area, just to the left-hand side, and just tries to bend it towards that top corner. And Areola, full stretch, manages to palm that one out. Very well done. Fair play, Areola. That was a blinding save. That is a blinding save. Brighton are now just passing the ball around, or continuing to just pass the ball around. Laid inside. Good control from Brighton. Hit it. Blocked once again. Big swing and a miss outside the area from Brighton from someone there. Jarrod Bowen hooks the ball away on the edge of the area towards Danny Ings, who doesn't have a single person 10, 15 yards within him. And, yeah, they have the ball again. They have the ball again. So what are we all doing for the rest of the day, huh? I mean, I think it's quite clear nothing's going to happen here. So what are we all up to? I'm going to sit and work. You know, Wolves score 1-0. There you go. Fair play, Wolves. Fair play, Wolves. Ben Johnson does well there on Enciso, I think is the way the commentator just said. So we'll stick with Enciso. Bloody hell, Areola, he palms it onto the bar. Bends it in really nicely. It's just big, strong hand. Fair play. Fair play. Chinese fatigue. Oh, jealous. Very jealous. Very, very jealous. Yes. Yes. Come on, Dean. Let's go. Let's go. That's gonna help with work tonight. I'll tell you that much. It's gonna help with work tonight. Was Benny injured? No, he was just a bit crap. but there was lots of people who were a bit crap, and yet he came off. So I don't know. I don't know. Lida, my friend, is talking about the nationality of certain players. That's fine. Try not to spam it, though. Try not to spam it. We get it. We vibe it. Love that for you, but, you know, chill a little bit. Played into the box, just on the outside. That's a nice turn from Sarmiento, however you pronounce his name. He's doing lots of step overs here, but there's not really much going on apart from that. The commentator just said he's struggling to come up with a match or think of a match that has been more one-sided than this season, which is wild to think about. No shots in the second half. I was just looking up stats. 17 shots from Wolves. 17 shots from Brighton in the in the game overall. We've had 3. They've had 13 in the second half. We've had none. So that's the wave we're on. That's the wave we're on. Yeah. What can you do? Okay, so full disclosure, I just opened up Twitter. Danny Ings gets a foul against him, taking down someone. Don't know what happened. I just went to Twitter because I was like, oh, I'm going to retweet Dean's stuff because Dean's a legend and I'm very excited about the mix tonight because that will really help me if it gets done tonight. And first tweet I see when I open up, Welbeck gets on the score sheet 4-0 from West Ham's official account. So I'm looking forward to that in a minute. That'll be fun. I've got that to look forward to. And now I look at the chat. Yep, there it is. 4. Good. It's good, isn't it? It's good. It's really nice. Good. It's good, though, isn't it? It's good. It's good. I'm it's good. It's good. My God. What's the point? What's the actual point, man? It's a great finish by Welbeck as well, to be fair. I've just seen it. It's a great finish by Welbeck as well, to be fair. You can't act like it isn't. Edge of the area. No danger of anyone coming near or attempting to tackle him. Bends it into the bottom corner. Really nice finish. It's Brighton 4. It's West Ham United 0. Do you remember when we beat Nottingham Forest 4-0 last week? Do you remember that? That was good, wasn't it? That was well fun. That was great. That was a vibey time. Hey, what a time to be alive. Let's all act like we scored. Yes. You know? Lads. Anyway, he picks up the ball. Flynn Downs makes an attempt to come near to tackle him, I guess. And, Welbeck puts it onto his stronger foot. And then slots it into that bottom corner, just bends it in. It's good, man. No, it's good. No, it's good we're losing 4-0. No, it's good. Like, you know when we were losing and then he didn't make any subs for ages? Yeah, no, it's good. Do you remember when we were losing worse and then he made 2 like-for-like subs? Yeah, no, it's good. Actually, it's worse than like-for-like, really, because you brought on... it's good. No, it's good. It's good. Do you remember when he was making subs, but he was forced to because Bonner got injured, and that was his big sub to change it up? I can't be asked. Declan Rice isn't doing anything. I can't be asked at this point. It's good. No, it's definitely good. It's real good, man. It's good. Might just play Wordle or do something else. There's another one called Waffle, which is pretty good. Might do Waffle. Waffle's good. Tell you what, if you're into Wordle and you're looking for something that's good, do Waffle. Waffle's great. Waffle's a good one. I just watch TikTok. You know? Just open up TikTok. 3 minutes valid time. Got 2 and a bit to go. I opened up Twitter and just see more nonsense. It's good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to turn the stream off, obviously, because, it's a job. I've got to keep on this. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute it. There we go. Don't have to hear anything now. Much nicer. Doesn't mean I'm left with my own thoughts, which isn't ideal. But, we'll just... There we go. Just put a bit of music on. There we go. Don't have to think about it now. So, if you're interested, I've just put on No Fear by Inflow. Great song. Probably on FIFA or something. It sounds like a FIFA song. You're not wrong, Harry. You're not wrong. I've never left a game early in my life, right? And that includes doing that. I've never left a game early. I've never stopped. It's very rare that I've stopped. It's just, I tried to stay through to the end, but at this point, I'm just like... I've never felt so comfortably pointless. I've never watched a match like this as Brighton pass it round. I say pass it round. So, Webster, I think that was, literally just stood still with the ball at his feet on the halfway line for maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Shot from range, almost 5. Jesus Christ. Shot just hooked wide from Pascal Gross. I've watched a lot of West Ham, and it's very rare that I felt so completely pointless. Just completely, what is the point of us being here? There was no point. At no point was anything going to happen in that game, we've got 15 seconds left of the game. I can see people saying full time in chat. It is what it is. I've never thought... Enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it. I've never watched it and just gone, do you know what? Why? Just why? There's no point in being here at all. We're not going to do anything. We've not been close to even considering doing anything. There is the full-time whistle. It's just pointless. It's just pointless. I just can't get my head around it. Not a single shot in that second half. Not a single shot. Not one. Not one. Not even no shots on target. Not a single shot. Not a single shot. That was useless. That was pointless. It just... whatever. Before I go, I'd like to thank Ryan for the £4. Thank you very much, Ryan, for the full-time fund. That's very kind of you, sir. You did not have to do that. Is he gone tonight? Then probably not, mate. Probably. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But thank you very much for the £4. It's incredibly kind for you lobbing it into the full-time funds. It's very, very kind of you. But yeah, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Luke, please. Isn't he busy being like a director of football in the Netherlands or something? Anyway, Gio will be live in just a few moments' time to do the match review, full-time match review. So make sure to stick around for that because I think we're all going to need a bit of a therapy session, and that's exactly what that will be. Outside of that, make sure to come back for the next match because we will be here, depressingly, somehow. David Moyes, will he be? I don't know, but I can tell you we will be. So make sure to come back by liking the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss it, and yeah, like the video because it helps us massively. It is what it is. Patreon.com/HowChat. Do you know what I mean? All that stuff. I can't be asked anymore. Enjoy the review or just go there and vent because I suspect that's exactly what it will be. Until next week or until the next game. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all for coming. See you later, everyone. Bye. Bye. Can't be asked.